welcome. It's episode 5 of the Castoffs here on Happy Jacks RPG. My name is Jason, your ship's bosun, and I am here with 2 excellent players and 1 bad one. We'll go around and introduce and let you, the listener, or viewer, decide.
I did not consent to this reality television.
Start in the middle.
I hate you.
He's a monster.
You spoke and made me look at you.
Hello, I am Pooja, and I am playing Lucky Joshi, literal gap person and ambassador for the consulate.
All right.
Hi everybody, I'm Joe, and I am a literal human, and he's got a fighter energy, he's got a paladin energy, he's got an uncle energy, and he's got the biker with the too many tattoos energy. You'll like him. There's a lot to him.
Energy.
He's got a full throttle energy. Brought to you by not Full Throttle, but
I had this comparison came into my head this week of Uncle Iroh if he drank coffee instead of tea.
yeah, it's Uncle Iroh with more tattoos and less tea.
Yeah.
And replace tea with energy drinks.
Yeah. Okay, I'm glad I wasn't far off
Yeah.
with that because that like popped in my head. I think I
Yeah.
was listening to your last introduction. I was like, sounds like Uncle Iroh.
Right.
Nick, what have you done?
See, you can tell by the way that he introduced me, he knows who the bad player
You
is.
can tell by the way I talk.
That you're ladies' man?
Well, close enough.
Hey everyone, I am Nick. I apparently have trouble keeping on topic, so this will be fun today. I am playing Sal, also known as Salamander. Salamander is a 8-foot tall ship's masthead that has come to life and is experiencing the finer things in life, like wood polish.
And apologies that are not apologies.
Celebrity apologies.
And celebrity apologies.
I just had the start of a lyric that could be something. You could tell by the way I talk, I'm a human man.
With these opposable thumbs.
Yeah, just like, because when I introduce myself to my students each year, I tell them my name, and I've been here for a while, and I am a regular human, just like you. And that always is like, what? What did he just say?
I like it.
You know, if you can have your students kind of like on edge whether you're a human or not, I think you're doing the classroom right. Don't
Definitely.
frighten your students. That's inappropriate, actually.
Create
But
engagement.
yes,
Mystery.
and wonder.
If you are a human or a robot.
Yes.
Wearing a human skin.
or alien.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could be an android. I could be a dinosaur time travel from the past and put through a transmogrifier. You know, all kinds of stuff.
I'm playing this video game that is one of the characters, like NPCs, is a chef who is definitely a human chef wearing a cephalopod backpack.
Oh,
Definitely, who enjoys making, squid soup with their mammalian opposable thumbs.
what game is this?
Death's Door.
This sounds like something I want to play.
The whole game is amazing.
Okay.
You play a raven who is a part of a bureaucracy that is
And there was
Hey.
light.
that is tasked with collecting souls to
Oh, we were
Oh,
talking
right,
about
yeah.
this. I remember. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna look into
It's so fun.
Okay.
I'm guessing right now about 3/4 of the way through.
All right, so you are, again, watching Happy Jacks RPG. If you wanted to look up past episodes, you go to happyjacks.org/castoffs or /shows for all the stuff we've done. The website has everything. It's got podcast feeds. It's got links to YouTube. We have YouTube playlists you can go check out. All of it's if you look for Happy Jacks RPG on the internet, you'll find it. Or you'll find me staring back at you from your computer monitor.
A regular
A
human.
regular human man.
Definitely not named Max Headroom.
Nope. Wait, that's not what I was going to plug in. I have 3 things in front of me that can plug in. Only one of them needs power.
How many of them
and it's
actually
not
take the
what you
same
think.
charger?
All of them. This is how I've organized my life. This was more important to me than any other feature of the device.
Envious.
Me too.
All USB-C. This is my
Mm.
life. Because that's also how I recharge my devices.
Yes.
Chirp, chirp.
Aura of mystery intensifies.
All right. So last time we had some opportunity to do some research at the Queen's estate. We picked up some equipment that she offered kind of in payment for doing the work at the embassy because the embassy doesn't pay in cash. Coins have a very specific purpose in the land of the dead, and they're not for paying you. And then we hopped back into the carriage for a very uneventful ride back to Port Fiend.
Super uneventful.
Minus your driver getting shot in the chest with an arrow.
Yeah.
Then a whole ensuing, like, rolling combat, and there was some very exciting things that happened. You should check out the last episode. Fast forward to now, the assailants have disappeared into the woods. The assailants, by the way, were 7, 8 feet tall, something like that. 7 to 8 feet tall, not 78 feet tall.
I could take them.
What's that game? Colossus or Titan, where you're climbing
No,
up the
there's
giant?
Shadow of the
Shadow
Colossus.
of the Colossus.
Yes, so
One
good.
of the finest
Yeah.
games ever made. Okay, so the
And third ascended to a non-physical realm.
yes,
At least temporarily.
yeah. Third is I will pilot him a little bit, but he will be
Third is unconscious from the grievous wounds. he
Yeah.
took.
right.
The
Yeah.
grievous wound.
He suffered
Yeah. Oh, so-
1 harm, I think, or 2 harm.
2 harm.
Yeah.
Got grazed by the arrow.
So he's been overcome by the vapors,
Yeah.
and will
good.
need to lie down for a little bit.
Yeah.
He's gonna be busy retelling this tale at the Giant's Compass
Yeah.
over and over and over. People are buying him drinks. It's just this endless. But if you all want to head out from Port Fiend in this episode, that's fine. We can cart him out to the ship as he's become deeply inebriated. But you can certainly bring him along.
We'll
Don't
make
feel
sure to
like
gather a party before venturing
yeah,
forth.
don't feel like we're trapped here because of an out of character
You must
instance. Yeah.
Oh.
Gather your party. Yeah.
Yeah.
go for the eyes, boo.
Yeah. All right. So, one thing I wanted to add in that I don't think I mentioned last time is as you all were collecting yourselves and did you have an unsatisfactory experience with your beverage?
That's just not what I was expecting.
Your face is so expressive and I love it.
This is the problem because I've been wearing a mask for 3 years, so now my face just
Yeah.
does what it wants.
I saw one, there was a video of somebody, like, pretend, obviously, but somebody walked into their office, handed themselves, and they said, thank you, and then mouthed the words, go fuck yourself. Like, oh, whoops, I'm not wearing it. Yeah, that's not going to happen to me.
You can't be blamed for what your face is thinking.
Somebody was like, oh, well, Pooja has such a good poker face. And I'm like,
No.
do I really? Or do you just not see very much of me?
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and disagree with that assessment, not as a diss, but
Reality would disagree.
So, as you were recovering yourselves, Lucky was actually grievously wounded. You know, like half your health was gone. That's a significant amount of wound. Now, Wall was not injured, I think, and Sal was not injured.
Sal was
1 point?
not injured. Maybe 1 point. I know I had like an arrow bounced off.
Something.
And
Yeah,
so they knew. I think it was 0 points,
that's right.
but it let them know that I was not
Yeah.
easily arrowed.
Yeah. You became...
Not easily penetrated.
That's fine. I'm a grown up.
I called my cat a beanie poopy head this morning, so
Nice.
definitely grown up.
Nice.
That's my stripper name.
I had an ice cream sandwich for breakfast. That's
Yeah.
how mature I am.
Awesome. So, as you all are recovering yourselves and getting some bandages going, do we have any healing magic in the party?
Wall does, but he can't use it until we reveal his vow, which
Oh.
we're not going to do for narrative reasons.
Okay. Then I'm gonna just have everybody recover one in the act of having bandage and rest and catch your breath a little bit, and you're, I think maybe Sal, you were like helping the horses come to because they were knocked out for a little bit, getting everything kind of back up and running. Your driver also needed some tending to, of like, it's the sort of thing where you would leave the arrow in and bandage it in place and then get him back to town, where like a proper healer is going to be required for this, right?
Mhm.
Unlike what I did to third.
That was a healing move that you did. You removed the foreign object.
Yeah.
Also, it was a shoulder wound and not a chest wound, so there's
Yes.
lower stakes or higher stake, I guess.
Ah.
Got him. However, after you all have kind of done the emergency triage and made sure the wagon is goable, I think that's the term
Yeah.
that you would use to describe that. Wagon can go. Not go fast, but it can go. When you sort of check the scene again, the four, well, let's say giants, for lack of a better word, are gone. The ones that you had taken out kind of on the side of the road have disappeared. And it's up to you as we're sort of loading back up the cart, and we've laid out the driver kind of on the floor of where where it would be comfy to sit. Like, you laid him out so he's not going to be bouncing around too badly. I think Wall was going to drive the cart.
probably.
But anything y'all want to do before we head into? You're not far from that. Like, you can see the crossing from here. It's a few hundred yards away. They definitely caught you before you got in range of. I think just now people in town are like, "Why'd that carriage stop?" So there's that crossroads at the top of the cliff that. So what do you all want to do?
Well, definitely want to check out and see what is happening with. I mean, because if these bodies have been taken by people, and if those people also mean us harm, I'd rather not have to do the whole, like, keep the horses from going off a cliff on the wagon thing
Sure.
again.
Do you have some, like, tracking or pathfinding abilities, or?
What I could try to do is commune with the dead.
Oh, what dead are you gonna speak to?
I would like to see, or I could do death sense and see if the giant dead are here somewhere, communable with.
Okay. Does that need an action point or a roll, or?
Death sense. I could use the 0 AP one where I naturally sense whether any remnants of the dead spirit creatures are nearby. But I would like to extend my vision, which would allow me to see spirit creatures who are invisible, and that's a 1 AP situation.
Okay. So that part of your vision works, and you come look around the surrounding area, and a little bit, you can see the equivalent of like you're at ground zero of a blast radius, but only visible in the Shadowlands. Whatever spell it was that banished Arjun, cleared spirit energy out for 50 yards in every direction. It was like way overkill to deal with one ghost. And it'll be a little bit before, like, a ghost could wander back in here, but unless they were intentionally trying to, they would probably treat it like the TARDIS field, and just be like, I'm going to go around this way for no reason and not worry about it. And it, so that's notable right off the bat. I'd like you to roll a die for extra information.
No. Not only do I not get any extra information, this die goes to jail too.
What is it?
Ooh.
It's a 1.
Oh my.
Oh my. Okay.
That was
Uh-oh.
not, I want to say, the die that was on a 1 when I opened up the
Okay.
case either.
Okay. Now, you can tell me if this is too harsh, but I think between the flashbang that you successfully resisted and then shifting to see this just spiritual blast field, right?
Would that be an EMP for Poltergeist?
I was gonna suggest that Lucky can't see very well right now, just in general. That your vision's overwhelmed, and we're gonna have to spend some time as you recover, as
That's fine. I'm also hurting.
your optical
gonna lie.
and spiritual receptors are just like, this is a lot.
Look, you got a migraine.
Yeah. So I think you're gonna probably the most comfortable thing would be to like sort of blindfold yourself, put something over your eyes because it's just everything is too much right now. Is that all right?
Yeah.
That's doable.
I
All right.
am, rather than blindfold myself, I am going to duck down in the wagon though, because I
Okay.
do not want to advertise to anyone watching us that
Okay.
I can't currently see.
Cool. Are you gonna communicate this situation to any of your party?
I mean, there aren't any ghosts in this area, so I don't know if there are physical signs of what happened to those bodies, but I'm gonna take a lay down.
Would anyone else like to go look for tracks or trails or
I
evidence?
have a question. Is Lucky actively bleeding?
Oh, yeah, almost certainly, right?
From my leg, yes, but the other wounds were all stick-based,
Yeah.
and therefore,
You're heavily bruised.
yes.
Almost,
But I
aren't you-
wear a long-sleeve shirt and
Oh,
pants.
okay. Then yeah, it'd be hard to tell.
Bleeding internally.
There's maybe a little bit of like a jaw bruise.
Yeah,
something
something
like that.
like my face is probably kind of swollen, but like
Yeah.
that's not necessarily all that unusual for Lucky.
Yeah, I mean it was a big fight and you got smacked in the face. It's not that weird. Little blood from the leg, but otherwise nothing drastic. Looks like. What'd you want to do?
I had an idea, but then I thought better of it. But-
Okay.
But so that was just flavor.
Okay. Anything else before we leave the area?
How's the driver looking?
He's in bad shape,
No.
but relatively stable for
Okay.
now.
We have to get him to help. And we'll need to leave a large tip.
Is there something above 5 stars?
We'll ask to speak with his manager.
All right, so we're heading out.
I feel like there's something we should do, but I can't think of what it is, and I don't have any applicable skills. So
Oh, yeah, the only thing I was going to suggest was perhaps investigating where those bodies should be, and looking for tracks and trails or anything like that. And you are a naturalist, or what? You're sort of a ranger, right?
yeah, but none of my abilities, they're wind and water focused, not tracking focused.
Okay, sure.
So when you said, "Hey, do you have any sort of tracking things?" I didn't say anything.
Yeah, okay.
Because because I don't.
Yeah, yeah. If
I
we
was
were
like-
tracking a hawk on the wind, maybe.
Sure.
But
Yeah,
okay,
I could speak to the winds. I could call the winds.
sure.
It's like when people were like, "Well, you're technically a doctor, aren't you?" And
Yeah.
I'm like, "I'm the guy that talks to the dead,
Yeah,
Jim."
You want to die first and then we'll talk?
yeah. I know a lot about your situation then.
So I mean, I feel like I do want to see, are there obvious tracks of where these, and like bracken in the underbrush of where they might have been dragged off?
You can see where the bodies were, right? There are like crunched branches and some blood on the ground. But there is no like deer trail or anything super obvious. We would need to do some kind of die roll. And if you tell me you're okay at finding people in the woods, we could make a die roll.
Based on what Wall knows, is it uncommon for there to be so much bloodshed on this island? Because this is like... Wall thinks this is weird. But is it weird?
It's weird unless these folks know they can get away with it,
Right.
like
Okay.
a spirit bomb that went off and make
Yeah.
sure there were no spirits nearby to see.
Right. Okay.
Which in and of itself is a big, like, hey, something happened here, but nobody's gonna know what
Yeah.
because they
Well, yeah.
wiped the scene.
Okay. Wall doesn't know about the spirit bomb, but he'll kind of repeat what you said.
Okay.
Yeah. This is uncommon unless they know they can avoid the gaze of the island or the spirits.
And I'll say, well, that explains why they used the equivalent of a supernova to banish one spirit.
Is this coming from Lucky, like lying down in the carriage
Yep.
next to the driver? I guess. Like,
Mm-hmm. It's the
And-
disembodied voice of Lucky says.
Then we should probably get back to an inhabited area as soon as possible. I don't think they would have the same sort of resources for us there.
We'll need to see a surgeon.
Cool. And there are also like healing magics in the world. That's not totally uncommon. Healing potions, healers, doctors, you know, kind of plague doctor style kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, we'll go to Bevmo, pick up some potion of life, some Phoenix Downs.
I was gonna say for
The problem with Bevmo here is that they only have beer and wine. They have, all the spirits have been blown away.
take 5 real life XP,
Thank you.
which I am authorized to give out.
As a teacher,
Yeah.
it feels like your job.
Okay, so the carriage starts rolling. As I mentioned, you're only a few hundred yards, you know, less than a quarter mile from the crossroads. And as you get closer, some people look up and realize how concerning the situation is. And some people come running up to help. You know, they take the horses and are coming to, you know, try and get the driver. Somebody at one of the stalls just comes running over with a couple of like round bottom flasks about the size of a, what's that, palm? Is that the name of the pomegranate?
Oh,
shape?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those little like round bottle things. Comes over with a couple of these. It's here. These were gonna go off by tomorrow anyway. So does anybody need one of these? Yes.
Arm up,
Okay.
hand open.
And then they also just kind of like open the driver's mouth and pour it in there. You know what? Let's make this fun. Do you want to roll the d6 or shall I?
I think you're gonna have to because I
Okay.
don't know that I have any with me.
Or you can roll that
I don't know this D6 though. I haven't hexed it.
one.
3.
Okay, you heal 3. The driver heals 3.
Nice.
And the arrow like pushes itself out of his chest, and the worst of the bleeding stops, and he sort of coughs and sits up and and then just falls back asleep again in a more sort of restful sleep.
You may want to be aware we were attacked by brigands on the way here.
Giants by the look of them.
There were probably a dozen people gathered around, but one of them, I think, let's say one of them, looks like a member of the Queen's Guard, with a sort of black and white tabard with her rose thorn symbol on it, and they, you know, kind of light brown hair, medium height, medium build, very average. And
Explain. Unpack that.
let me
more.
tell their backstory.
I was
But-
like, and we have found a spy.
But they step up and say to you, Sal, okay, what else can you tell me about your assailants?
There were 1, 2, 3, 4,
Seven.
7. Okay. There were 7 of them. They looked to be of giant or half giant ancestry. One of them was some kind of a spellcaster.
They cast a area-wide spirit banishment.
And the guard looks horrified. Like they wielded a machine gun, right? It's just horrendous. I don't suppose they were sort of an ash gray complexion.
Yes, exactly.
Bone giants. This is a problem. We didn't think they would be bold enough to come to the island.
Clearly, that has changed.
Something has them thinking they can get away with this.
The magician was using a totem of some kind.
Okay, we've seen varying types of these. Do you know what it was made of?
Dragon bone.
Oh, okay. Their beginners are not allowed to use bone in their... That's something... I don't totally understand how their system works, but I know that that's something you have to earn, is to have some kind of bones in your equipment.
I take it that they have been trouble in the past.
The guard kind of looks around at all the people gathered around who are like, yes, tell us more. We would like to learn all of these state secrets. And the guard says, don't worry, everyone. The Queen's Guard has this well in hand. We know what to do. Come with me. And kind of wants the 4 of you to walk with him to the elevator that goes down into town. And
I'll walk. Wall doesn't want to take the elevator.
Oh, okay. It's gonna be like
It's 12.
half an hour.
It's 12 stories.
Very well.
I guess it's not half an hour to go down 12 flights of stairs, but still.
Fine.
It is with all these people who want to know more details, assaulting you on the way down, peppering you with questions that you will have to answer.
So the guard makes sure that it's just now the 5 of you that go into the elevator. We're including third, thank you, in this. And you have a fairly long moment to chit-chat. And the guard says, all right, I know that the 4 of you have been favored by the Queen, and I don't mind sharing this information, especially because you have been through this personal ordeal. The Bone Giants are not just an opponent to the Queen, but to what the Queen represents, and kind of like gives Lucky like a nod and a wink, like,
Just the consulate. It's
yes.
We are all
Okay, very good, very good.
just
So you're aware, not all of the guard are privy to that information. I, however, am a lieutenant, and gestures to this like obscure pattern on their shoulder, like, yep, that's what that means, and I definitely knew. Good for you, buddy. But they seem very proud of themselves.
Congratulations on your recent promotion.
Yep. So
Is that a butter bar?
what?
It's a military thing.
Oh, okay. So the I was picturing like a bar that serves different types of butter.
I was thinking of a candy.
Sure.
No, it's the Lieutenant Pip is a little gold. It's a gold rectangle.
Oh.
And it's sort of an insulting thing to call it a butter bar. Like,
okay.
oh, this guy's wet behind the ears. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Okay, sure. Okay, so anyway, this member of the Queen's Guard fills you in on this, some information about the Bone Giants. And if there's something, I'm not going to just sit here and hit you with the hammer of exposition, but if there's something you want to ask later of like, would the guard have told us about X? Like, I'll either fill you in or say, well, they didn't know.
Cool.
Guard, Guard Soze.
Okay.
Soze, like Kaiser Soze?
Yes,
Soze.
but Lieutenant Soze.
Yes, I want to hear about his string quartet. Or his, I'm sorry, his barbershop quartet.
Yeah, barbershop quartet from Skokie, Illinois.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so elevator gets to the bottom. You have learned some information about the bone giants. You can go back and read the quest text later. It's fine. Everybody skips it.
Just mashing that button and like,
Yeah.
next thing you know.
And the guard leaves you to go back up and kind of deal with the situation, but gives you this briefing and sends you on the way. And I think we're also okay saying third is like, I need to get to the Giant's Compass for a drink because of his horrible ordeal that he's been through today. So we get...
I like to think that third reached for one of the potions.
Yeah.
Lucky just swatted third's hand away and grabbed it.
Yeah, of the two potions.
Yeah.
No. I like that too. Courtney can tell us if we're wrong later.
Yeah.
So, I assume third is headed for the Giant's Compass. You all had found some information about giant kraken migration patterns and how some of that looks like there could be activity nearby.
And their deaths.
Yes. Yeah, mostly you know about where they die. And so that in itself could be interesting. They're also, though, like, giant kraken have been around for thousands of, it's like they're part of the history of the world, right? And if all of those giant kraken had died, then the whole place would just be one big gateway to the afterlife, but it's not. So when some giant kraken die, they create a thinness in the veil. And it's a little bit easier to cross over there. Now, why isn't that where every giant, who knows, right? But that's some information that you got. I think that's most of what we've picked up so far. We last time rehashed a lot of the information that the Queen gave you about how the consulate works and what some of your obligations are to it, why we need to take care of this cult that is coming together in the Spire, and
Before we leave the guard, I do want to ask a couple of questions that I think might inform our next decisions. Sure. The first one is, do you know of any reason why they might have targeted us specifically? Or was it a matter of being in the wrong place at the wrong time?
Well, I'm 50-50 on that. If they knew that you are representatives of the consulate, then that would be enough of a reason. But also, just disrupting trade and travel on the island would be satisfactory to them because they hate the Queen, and anything they can do to undermine her rule will strengthen their position because they're very critical of her in general. A lot of their rhetoric includes why she's such a terrible queen, which Guard Soze finds a ridiculous concept, is obviously like loyal to the core, right? The row accompany them.
Do they often transport their bodies, casualties left after battle?
Oh, well, I'm not familiar of them having casualties. I mean, most of them are sort of not really alive.
Explain.
Well, part of the reason they're an enemy of the consulate is that they have found a means to skip death.
So when they fall, that might not be the end of them, merely a disruption.
Yeah, yes, I haven't seen any except those that were physically obliterated by, let's say, fire or something.
I mean, I paralyzed one, and their body disappeared.
I'm sure. I mean, I've never had an opportunity to inspect one up close. I don't know.
Troubling.
Very.
I see them fall in battle and get back up. This is what I personally have seen.
Do they pledge themselves to any lord or master?
They, as far as I know, are essentially a collective. They practice some sort of voting where a majority of the votes rules, which it just sounds like
I have no
chaos to
time
me.
for nonsense. Speak
I-
plainly.
That's my understanding, is they just live in chaos and people
Democratic
deciding.
rule is a perfectly valid system of government.
You
Please
say
feel
so.
free to keep your ignorance to yourself.
If you say so.
I have to agree with our with the lieutenant here. If you had democratic leadership on board a ship, it would be chaos. You need to have one captain, one person giving the orders.
Yes, because that is definitely how our ship functions. Also,
I'm assuming that's laughing out of character.
Yeah,
Not
yeah, yeah.
Sal's laughter.
Yeah,
okay.
not looking directly at Sal. That is definitely how our ship functions, but also my people have been governing by consensus for generations, and I would appreciate you keeping your ignorance to yourself
Guard
in
says
the
they
future.
looks like genuinely scandalized, and like you've just suggested that your people eat poop for breakfast. Like, I don't understand how to wrap my head around. They don't say this out loud, right? But they're like, it's sort of like they think what you said is embarrassing, right? That's a better vibe. It's like you just said a quiet thing out loud, and that you don't admit to something like that in polite company. So they're like, yes, ma'am, yeah, that's admirable. I should get back to the
That would be
injured.
for the best.
Yeah. Good day to you all.
And to you.
I think it was like mid-morning at this point, something like that. Just broad daylight. These brigands attacked you.
So they organize themselves, and yet they practice some very strong necromancy. Something doesn't add up.
Does it concern us?
I don't understand
concerns
how
me.
democracy and necromancy are somehow now linked in your mind. Why would those be mutually exclusive?
To necromancy.
And for the record, in this world, the queen is also a necromancer, and like publicly and what is well-known fact, right? So just to add that to our lore, right? It was like she is a well-known, famous, and loved necromancer. But hashtag not all necromancers. So as the famous saying goes. That's all. So where y'all going? What you doing? I think the gambling tournament starts tonight. Right? I think that was
Oh, right.
in
from
2
the-
days' time or something, whatever it was.
From the
3
flyer.
nights from now. 3 days from now on the full moon.
And that's tonight,
Great.
regardless of how many days have passed.
Time is
I'm
different
sorry,
here.
without accurate time.
Please, we knew this wasn't a meaningful campaign.
How dare you? How dare you? I want my money back.
I just love that I wrote down both 3 days from now and the full moon.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, it turns out tonight at midnight is the start of the full moon. And then the full moon goes for 3 days. So, this full moon goes for 3 days. I think we said there's like half a dozen moons or something.
I thought there were three.
Three?
There are
Okay,
three
yeah,
moons.
y'all talked me down. I was like, I want 27 moons. Like, no.
The tides.
That's
Oh,
enough.
God.
That's too many. Okay, so that's starting. We haven't heard back whether Third made it through the auditions for the restaurant on 10th. What did I call it? I had a name for it. Last Call. For Last Call on 10th. And the shopkeeper Fizzle Crank Bumble Switch was hoping you would procure some giant squid ink. And the dockmaster, Miss, oh, what was her name? The fairy. Does anyone remember?
Oh, I have it down here. Oh.
I don't think it was
That
lime
one,
cheesecake.
It was Glitterhorn.
Glitterhorn, yes. Miss Glitterhorn had made some, provided some help to be able to get a letter back for Third, but all of you have met her now, and you were all sort of aware of who she was before, but hadn't really had any contact with her, but she had sent over that charcuterie plate, and, you know, just in general, met a few people in town. Also, we can pack up Third and sail out this afternoon if you want to go see what you can see about Giant Kraken and
I'm very
whatever
interested
else.
to find out about this Kraken business and also to visit these crossovers. I would like to especially know if Rise might be using these crossovers in some way, since most of those Kraken deaths could be traced back to them.
I need ink.
Do we know the Rise hunting patterns?
Oh, I thought it was part of what was in the book. Did I just make that up
I think
wholesale?
I think that part was a editorialization.
My
that
bad.
was Wall saying there might. He thinks there's a connection, but there's no proof.
Well, if there is a connection. Also, you know, at some point, Wall and I need to talk about things.
Yeah. I mean, that could be now. What are y'all doing when you walk out of the elevator? Let's start with that. It's, mid-morning. I think you all left the Queen's place after breakfast, so it's a, weirdly like bright, sunny, birds chirping, a few wispy clouds in the sky. It's just like absolutely beautiful day to have been shot by arrows.
Come
And
help me go to the market. I need to pick up a hat or something. This migraine, it's killing me.
I want to use Read the Winds, which is a 0 AP ability. You concentrate on the language of the winds, sensing weather patterns in your region of the world. You were able to glimpse a weather forecast for the next few days in your region of the world.
oh, okay. Then if it's 0, do you roll something for it?
Nope.
It doesn't say roll the dice?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I think you just tell me
Yeah.
in general what it's going to be like for the next couple of days.
There is gonna be.
Sal, with your weekend update.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. There is gonna be an absolute wild squall this afternoon, before sundown, and last probably into sundown, but then overnight it's gonna clear up, and then it's gonna be pretty clear for the next few days.
So I think the two of you have seen Sal do this before. I go rigid with one hand in the air and then say if we have errands, we should.
Could you lick your finger first?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just wood. So
Yeah,
it's
it's
just grass.
Rake.
If we have errands, we should do them sooner rather than later. There will be a storm arriving this afternoon and lasting through the night.
How much range do you want your weather report? Like, do you know the weather in Spire from here? 12 days away?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
It says local area, so I'm going to
Okay.
assume
Mm.
I'm going to assume within a mile or two of
Yeah.
a couple miles of where we
Yep,
are.
totally fine. So I'm not gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you the storm is a little bit like the size of the storm. You can't see the whole edge of it, right? So you don't know how big it is. You know that it like comes and like the side of it sweeps across Port
Mhm.
Fiend, and then I think we said Port Fiend faces east, south. It faces south. So it sort of swipes across Port Fiend, and then but you don't know how big the storm is outside of your perception.
Sal's going to make a ton of money selling umbrellas. It's
Yeah.
Yep.
Just so we're aware and can put that into our plans.
So definitely need to hit the market down.
Are you well? Do you need more healing, rest?
No, I'll be fine for now. I just have this lingering migraine.
Yes.
Sometimes when you get hit about the face of a lot, and then also look into a ghostly dead zone, you know how it is.
Perhaps a veil might help as well.
You want one?
No, I'm fine. I meant for you.
I think I got myself covered. Thanks.
Well, I mean, that veil really would have you covered.
But wall will help me.
I'll escort Third back to the Giant's Compass.
Yeah, and I think Third's like sort of staggered, like a good 10 paces away already. Like,
Mm.
I'm going to the Giant's Compass with or without you. Something like that. That's my impression of Courtney.
Nice.
I mean Third.
And as we go, I'm just okay. I mean, I probably really do need an adventure about that, but the point is that you remember that second globe that was in the library?
Yes.
I saw the past.
The past.
The past. And I know that we talked a little bit about how you don't remember much about what happened to you and the consulate.
I know something happened. I know it was me. I have flitting pieces of memory that I know are mine, but I don't know how they fit.
We were in a battle. And there was a leader, a general, about to be trampled by a giant horse. You saved his life. But in doing so, during the course of the battle, you had sustained a number of grievous wounds
And
to your side.
well, I'm gonna revisit that brief
Yeah.
flashback you had of the flat of the blade on your shoulders, and more of that scene fills itself out for you.
Nice.
Of like this battlefield knighting,
Mm.
and you recall like saved someone. Some of the context
Yeah.
is still fuzzy, but
Yeah.
that scene fills in a little bit for you.
There's a lot of grief that wells up inside of Wall. He's starting to remember the importance of that day, but the details are still muddy. But he's starting to know, yeah, something big happened.
I don't know if you, I don't know, like kind of describe like the setting of the battle. There were giants, there were chariots. It was a whole thing. We were fighting to protect a crossover that was being assaulted.
Where?
I don't know. It's part of the reason why I want to see these crossovers so badly.
Do you recall how much ink I was wearing?
Yeah, I like this roll. This is good.
I actually don't know. I'm curious. With the
Tough
dice.
choice.
So here's what I want you to do, because I don't think it's in your nature to like guess and pretend like you knew something.
Especially not with Wall.
But I want to, if you're okay with this, just inflict on you a moment of like, I want to impress Wall, and to give him a better answer than I don't know.
Mm.
And you just kind of see Lucky's face fall a little bit. It's like, to be honest, I was looking more at the half a dozen arrows sticking out of your side than the number of rings on your arms.
Of course,
I can tell you that you wielded a tower shield, much like you do now. That
You say I saved a life.
you did. And
Someone important.
someone connected to the consulate.
And I was knighted.
I believe what most likely happened was they offered you employment in return for, I mean, in this case, a life for a life.
And yeah, your new allegiance would qualify as that. Yep.
Am I some raised thing? Would I not have perished on that field you say I was shot through with arrows?
It's, you might have died, you might have lived, but
Oh, I'm
The-
gonna imply that if he was dead, they wouldn't bring him back. The consulate would not bring him back.
yeah, no.
So-
I mean, you were definitely alive at the time, but whether you would have survived the day, that is up to many factors.
So I saved a life and they saved mine, so to speak.
I think so. I didn't see much past the offer, the start of the offer. I don't know the details of your employment. I barely know the details of my own employment, to be quite clear that they suck.
Pooja, how many memories have I given you about that battle so far, from Joshi's point of view?
You have given me that one sequence.
Okay. I also want to impress on you the importance and the understanding that Lucky had that the opponents were so much physically larger than what the consulate had prepared for, and that was a shock.
The enemies that you fought that day were huge.
Wall
The-
recalls the giant horse
Mm-hmm.
and the rider. Monstrous things. Larger than any man or half giant. They could have been giants themselves. I remember towering forms.
The lighting was so bad, but it, in compared to what you dealt with today, it could have been a dark gray skin.
Could they have been the same enemy that we faced today?
I think perhaps their ancestors, perhaps a kin. Maybe.
Do you recall how old you were? How long ago this was for you?
I remember I don't remember all of my employment with the consulate. Most of my jobs get blanked.
I will say you know when you started with the consulate. You can decide when that is, but there is a like block.
But
That
it
you know.
would have been in the last 10 years.
Wall, and let me know if this crosses a line or veil for you, Pooja. Wall's gonna very seriously walk towards you, put two hands on your shoulder, but he's reaching up to do it.
Oh right, because
Yeah.
she's so much taller than he is. Yeah.
Are they doing this to you? Are they doing this to us? Are you in danger with them?
No. I mean, it's annoying. But
It's not being done against your will. You're not
we
forced.
all agree to it. Well, don't you don't remember anything at all.
It's starting to come back. I know I wouldn't have agreed to anything dishonorable.
It's almost like you made an oath or a vow. Something is floating to the surface of your mind.
All I remember is that day I lost a king, a queen, an empire, and myself.
You agreed. And I know that for a fact because we all agree. Do I find it annoying? Yes, we all do. But it's possible that they went a little overboard in your case, or you haven't wanted necessarily, maybe your subconscious didn't want to remember everything. But a lot of my jobs do
I
get
killed my
blanked out.
king.
What?
I killed my king.
When?
That day. I am an oath breaker. I am a kingslayer. A betrayer, a traitor. I don't want to remember this.
But I think I've known you a long time. We've known each other a long time. Say that we know each other pretty well. And if you broke a vow or an oath, you had a very good reason. Who was your king?
Jason, would you like
Yeah,
to
now
generate?
you have to come up with a
Okay.
name.
Womp womp.
The shoe is on the other foot.
I knew him as Ulrich. That was a
You were an
name
A.
that I would call him because he was half-brother to me. It was a throne he was born to that I would never sit upon because I, unlike him, was a bastard. But he was my brother, and when our father passed, he became king. His reign was short. Not short enough.
Wall, you remember that he made allies of a people you considered vile.
Yeah.
A very tall, ashen gray people
Mm,
who voted for things
mm,
by majority.
mm. Wall doesn't have a problem with
That's
democracy.
fine. I know.
He has a problem with democracy run by people who shouldn't be
Sure.
running things.
Yeah.
Yeah. False democracy.
Yeah, it is like kind of a, like a, if we're all okay with me putting this, it is kind of like a fascist
Yeah, yeah,
democracy.
right.
Unless I need to roll that back, then that's
No.
Um,
That's the theme of that.
Populism.
Mm.
yeah, that's it's the we're gonna do this because we all think it's right, and okay, but not everybody does.
Yeah.
and I don't think it's steamrolled.
Cool. Yeah. He died a lich lord.
Mm.
It's one thing to cut down your brothers. It's another to have to do it again and again and again and again because they will not stay down, and they come back less and less of who they were. He
Then,
did this, and I ended it.
then you did the right thing.
Time will tell. The old empire never recovered.
Would it have recovered from being led by a Lich Lord for centuries into the future?
I'm not a historian. I'm just a Kingslayer.
All the people that you saved might say differently, but what you call yourself is up to you.
I call myself Wall, and that's good enough.
Then that is where we are.
I've been distant. I knew that I did not know myself enough, and I didn't want to risk letting anyone be close to me. But you, in your way, you've always found my weakest points.
Need. It's literally your stomach, so I don't really see how.
At this moment, there's a kind of a rushing, the Doppler effect of a yell that's coming closer to you, but in an ethereal sense. And then Arjun like blasts into existence, like, watch out, they're in the woods. Ah, shit. What happened?
They managed you.
And you can just see the like. I think there's actually like her eyes become like dark storm clouds of just pure hate, right? That like banishing is extremely rude for any spirit, not to mention a like actual sapient being, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And she looks around like, did they get third? Oh, wait,
I
did
mean,
go
if
with
you ask
third,
third,
Sal?
Yeah, I took third.
And did they get third and Sal?
I mean, if you ask third, they got third pretty well, but no.
You won't have to ask. Third will tell you.
And Sal is.
They're fine.
Don't tell them I asked.
Trust me, I won't.
Does Wall see Arjun?
Yes,
Okay.
which I know is not always.
Yeah.
But for now and today, yes.
Okay.
Also, they sort of manifested with a lot of force.
Yeah.
I think even some people walking by
Right.
were like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Okay. And for most people, it's like there was a chill wind, and everyone's like, "Oh, fucking ghost."
Yeah.
God damn it.
Go to the Isle of Finn, they say.
Yeah.
Weather's great this time of year, they said.
Yeah. Yeah. So Arjun appears.
We drove them off, but apparently killing them is a dicier proposition than we had first believed.
Ooh. Right. I need both of you to roll. This is basically an insight check.
A 19.
Oh my.
And a 10.
Okay. I'm just gonna give this to both of you. She knows a bunch. And it has just like stopped herself from like she started with, well, why did you right?
Arjun.
Nope. What?
Arjun.
Wall's gonna gingerly step forward and just make eye contact with Arjun, which is rare.
Feel myself being summoned
Arjun,
to the spirit
tell me about the boat.
world.
I will banish you myself. You want to go back so badly. Tell me about the bone giants.
What were you doing, Wall?
I'm just making it known that Wall can see Arjun and just, but it's
Sure.
it's kind. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, I do see you, by
Yeah.
the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Child.
Yeah. It's like when I see my students doing something shady in the back of their like, y'all, I know what you're doing.
mm-hmm.
Like, okay. And what was it you were saying?
What do you know about the bone giants?
Ah. Okay. That's the word I wasn't supposed to say. So you know what bone giants are.
The Queen's Guard filled us in on the way down.
Okay. Great. So, I'm sorry I didn't have time to tell you, but now you know, since you fought them before, you'll remember what to do. On the field of battle.
Okay, so turns out I was there. Good to know.
And if you were there, then I was there, and that vision was true.
I mean, that... I didn't realize that was in question.
I don't doubt you, I just...
Doubt magical vision globes. Yes, I get it.
It's a new world.
It was, I mean, Wall's induction, right? I mean,
Yes.
we all remember that. Oh, see, the trick is, I don't have the same geas laid on me, and I'm not allowed to say certain things, but I know it.
Well, so, apparently... So they hit me with a normal whammy.
Yes.
They may have hit Wall with a super whammy?
Well, it does affect people differently, and it may be that your previous allegiance created a conflict.
To not remember was a blessing until now.
That explains it.
But for what it's worth, you fought the Bone Giant army like a banshee. And you can tell, like, for Arjun, that's like a really great compliment. And she literally means banshees. This is not a metaphor. Like, she's like, that was rad. She doesn't say that, but that's our modern interpretation of.
Well, we have a choice to make then. Yeah, I mean, now that we know about the battle, we don't necessarily have to go to the crossroads where the Krakens perished. It would be interesting still, but if you would like to go to the Bone Giants instead.
I very much would.
So, this is not in characters Arjun. I think the problem here is you all, outside of this memory of the battle, and now we're also filling in that there was this kingdom that allied with the Bone Giants because they promised this magic, and your
Eternal life. And
your
yeah,
king
yeah.
became a Lich King. Outside of that, we don't know where the Bone Giants are from. We can't just set sail for Bone Giant Island.
That's a DLC for later.
Yeah, yeah. It's hasn't been revealed on the map yet. So
If we need to go to the if we need to go to the portal to get into the
Gotcha.
Burning Crusade.
That makes sense.
right.
Yeah.
How it's
When it's released, it'll say Bone Giants ready.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Then to the crossing.
I mean, it seems like our best bet, and if we can coax a Kraken along the way, since you apparently are the Kraken singer.
Oh, and the thing I was going to add on to that is, so this memory of the battlefield is growing. If you could find that battlefield, it was almost certainly a place that, like, the Bone Giants figured they could invade from. And so whatever part of that battlefield is in the Shadowlands, you could probably reverse engineer where they came in from. But getting to the Shadowlands is a tricky proposition if you don't want it to be permanent. There's an easy way to get there and stay.
One way.
There's
Yes.
always my way.
Yeah. But visiting with the intent to return
Yeah.
is a little tricky, and it's not, it's not something the consulate just, oh yeah, you come back and forth as much as you want. Like, they're, they're trying to keep things running smoothly, and so. Does that all make sense? Kind of setting wise here. Okay. World building as we go.
Love it. So yeah.
Then to the crossings.
Right. I assume at some point we actually pick up my. Need to put the. This one is more of a burgundy color that goes with my regular color scheme rather than white.
Yep.
Wall picks up just a bucket of the deepest black paint.
Sure. Yeah. Just like at a store, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
walking
Doesn't
by a
have to
random.
be Crake and ink. You're just like
Yeah.
the deepest like Vanta black
Yeah.
they have.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How about Black 3.0?
Yeah.
Because screw Vanta Black.
Ah,
is it bad?
okay.
Oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's a whole thing.
Okay.
We don't have time. But
No,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll leave that behind.
look up Stuart Semple.
Okay. So, yes, you have a container of
Yeah.
black paint,
Mhm.
very black paint,
Very black. Yeah.
and
No, not fairy black.
I have a new shield and I wish to paint it.
well
Well
done. Well done.
Nice.
Gosh, the karaoke place I used to go to, there was a guy who came in every week, or at least every time I was there, and I only went half a dozen times, but like every time would sing that song.
Oh, nice.
And he was pretty good, but like
Nice.
it was just funny. Like he had that one song, he
Signature
came in,
song.
did it, and
Respect. That's
like,
me and Freebird.
okay, cool.
We had a lot of people. I worked in a bar that did karaoke nights, and I worked there for several months. And there are many people who have their song.
Yeah, the signature song. The
I
finisher.
never knew you worked in a bar.
It was in like 2005. So
Yeah, well,
I guess I don't talk about it much.
Before I knew you, but interesting fact nonetheless.
So I date myself. It's cool.
All right. So what are we doing? Figured we should fast forward a little bit. here.
Yeah. We'll
Well,
go and-
Lunchtime.
Well, I wanted to, while this was all
Yeah.
going on, I had two things I wanted to do. One, I wanted to go talk to Doc about the mage.
Okay. Yeah, I think
And-
she. Well, let's see. Where would we find her right now? I don't think she's ready to be in Giant's Compass. She might be back on the ship, actually.
Okay, well that's good because the other thing I wanted to do was check on Portina.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you make it back to the ship, just in time to find the doc talking to Tarina, your cook. And the doc is saying like, "You should go ashore. I'll stay here. I'll look after him." You know, the unconscious mage on the ship. You should take some leave. You've been cooped up in here for weeks, and it smells like it. Like, you should go ashore. And Tarina is just sticking by her guns. I'm like, I don't need to. I don't want to. There's nothing for me here. I hate this port. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not going. Right? That's the conversation you walk in on.
Tarina, we can't force you to take leave,
Goddamn right.
but you don't think that you might feel a little better getting off the ship,
I will not.
having a drink or a meal that was not prepared in these surroundings?
I make the meals here and they're fine.
So I'm given to understand, but I understand that many people like to have a change of scenery. What's wrong? Why don't you want to go ashore?
Roll a die. Gonna have to turn on Sal's people skills.
Oh no, Sal's people skills are a 2.
Ooh. Oh my.
I'm not gonna do it word for word, but I think she like cusses you out a little bit and is like, you don't tell me what to do. If you want to kick me off the ship, you kick me off the ship, but otherwise, blah, blah, blah. And she just like storms out to her, bunk with it, and just leaves you and Doc in the kitchen, like, or galley. Excuse me, the galley. I want that Twitter backlash.
Ask you what the stick is, but you're the stick.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, she storms out. And Doc also looks bewildered, like, I don't know if Sal's not an expert in human emotions, but Doc is bewildered, right? Like that, outburst seemed uncalled for to her, at least. So,
That seemed an excessive response.
I agree. Maybe, I'll ask. What's her son's name?
Danny.
Danny. I'll ask Danny to go talk to her later. Let's let her cool off.
Seems like it's best.
Wow.
There must be some kind of bad blood here.
That's all I can think of. I wonder if she knows somebody in town, or
An ex,
or just something bad happened.
or perhaps owes something to someone.
Oh well.
Or-
and Doc like gets the rum out of the cupboard, and I have to remember that she's a little bit gruff, and
Right.
But yeah, she's like, well,
I guess I'm drinking my dinner
yeah,
tonight.
I'm drinking alone.
Like, you know what? I already raised one son. I don't feel the need to raise another.
Yeah.
How is our sleeping friend? Any change?
Only that he's gotten closer to consciousness. He will semi-revive to actually eat. Like, we give him something and he's sort of, just like a construct. Wolfs it down and then lies down and passes out again. His eyes sort of open. It's actually a little creepy. I don't know if you'll find it creepy. I found it creepy. The guy's weird. But
I like that the doctor is saying all this.
yeah. But I don't know. If you want to keep him around, I'll keep an eye on him. I don't care.
I think it might be useful to speak to him when he does achieve consciousness and decide where he wants to go.
Okay.
If he did want to join us, I think that his skills would be useful.
If he wakes up and wants to leave, should I make sure he doesn't leave?
No,
So he can leave if he wants to.
yes, of course. But I would let him know that we'd like to talk to him first. And not in a talk to him.
Oh, yeah. She also was like, well, that's a good thing you said that. Like, the audience at least sees his facial expression if she's like, all right, no, okay. Yeah.
Puts away the manacles.
Yeah, like,
I mean, you can leave if you want to.
yeah.
You can leave your woes behind.
But if your friends don't leave.
Captain Gallant really did him dirty.
Yeah, yeah, it did really.
Just threw it, literally
Yeah.
dropped him off of the ship.
Yeah. He's no friend of mine.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
All right. So,
So that being said, since the mage hasn't awoken, then I will go visit Portina, who I'm going to try and lure out with. I'm trying to think of what would be a nice treat, because she probably has plenty of saltfish and probably fresh fish periodically.
maybe
And
like a milk thing.
Chicken.
Chicken.
oh, chicken's good. I
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have on the way back picked up a roast chicken,
Okay.
and I'm going to kind of lure her out with scraps of that.
Yeah, I think the moment that you like start to open that bag, you can hear the like rustle behind a barrel and like the what yeah, you have her attention.
Come here, sweetie.
She kind of looks out from behind the barrel.
I have a good chicken for you.
She's just watching you from behind the barrel, like, and you can bring it to me, because she's cat.
I'll approach slowly.
Okay.
Roll not to frighten the cat.
A giant scratching post appears.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I'm like, one day Sal's gonna come up on deck with just like a piece of rope wrapped around one leg.
Yeah. Yeah. You can actually see where she started to shred into a rope a little bit. So
Okay.
we've got the first telltale of Sal's idea later.
Great, I love that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanna check up and make sure that she's doing okay, and that
Yep.
she hasn't tried to leave the ship, and bring her a little treat.
Yep.
And Sal doesn't know what Lucky knows.
Oh,
About
you don't
cooking.
know yet. Okay.
No, Sal just
The thing I
This is
will
a ship's
say,
cat.
because Do you understand animals? Do you have a thing about?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Then roll a die for me for this information because this could be fun.
18.
Oh,
Hmm.
she is like 10% bigger than like the 3 days ago when you got here.
Hmm.
So, whatever that's worth. And she was a big cat before.
Right.
Like, if we keep this up, then we're gonna have like a little bobcat pretty soon.
How healthy you are. Look at how big you've gotten. Oh,
And then as soon as you like take some chicken out of the bag, she looks at your hand and then looks at the bag
Mm.
and is gonna try to tackle the bag out of your hand because she's not a sucker.
oh, you like. And I will, take the bag off and the little tray that it's on.
Tread, just yeah.
Mm.
And then it's like also trying to drag it back to the
Mm.
corner.
No, I was instructed not to let you have the bones.
And but she stops dragging it and just starts stripping off meat, but is watching you.
Mm.
But this is mine. So
Yeah. So I'll sit there and I'll watch her eat and then and make sure that she doesn't get into the bones and then
is
cut
this
the
cooked
carcass.
or raw? Just curious. It doesn't mean anything.
I was thinking a roast chicken,
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
like skinless.
Sure.
'Cause, she doesn't need that salt and
Well, she's also not a regular cat,
right.
but I guess Sal doesn't
Yeah.
know that. So
Which is what I kind of love. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, you're looking good.
Yeah.
You're
I
growing.
love the idea that you
Must
don't need that salt, but we've been feeding her salted fish this whole
Yeah.
time.
That's why she doesn't need the salt.
doesn't need extra.
Mm.
Yeah. She's very interested in what you brought her and
Okay.
shreds it clean. And when you say to leave the bones, she just very carefully like gets through tendon and
Mm.
shreds and
Yeah, like a normal cat does.
yep, just leaves a perfect pile of bones. Like a cartoon piranha.
Right.
Mm.
What a good sweetie you are.
She doesn't
Well,
say anything.
Okay. That's fine. I'm not expecting her to.
But yeah, she
you know.
definitely is like attentive and paying attention and
We'll be back at sea soon. I know that this seems a little bit odd, but think of it this way: while we're in port, more rats will come on board.
okay.
This is just
I mean,
This is
she's
Sal talk-
making eye contact with you while you're talking.
right, like a perfectly normal cat.
Nope. Sal doesn't know that this is very weird behavior. And
This is the prototype for
the
all
way
cats.
the way I was like, oh, are my cats gonna transform it someday? Because they both definitely are like, oh, you're talking, cool,
Uh-huh.
Well, fuck you too, and they go on and do whatever they would
Yeah.
like.
I think at this point, Danny walks down the hall and is like, "Are you talking to the cat?
Yes.
You know she doesn't understand you, right?"
But it's still important to talk to them, right? Get them used to your voice. She's
Yes.
she's very well behaved.
I've never had a cat before. Land animals are weird and hairy.
She seems to be paying attention. She stopped eating the bones when I told her to stop.
What?
Like she understands.
And then when he looks at her, she like kind of like flops onto her side. I don't know how much. It's like in my mind, she's doing the thing of like, touch my belly. I fucking
trap.
dare you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dare you. Look at this belly.
the trap.
Yeah.
See
Best traps.
see what a good sweetie she is, and Sal will reach over.
Okay. And I think Danny was too. Danny was like, "Oh, how cute!" And then you kind of like stoop down there to pet her belly, and just the angel of death claws, come out and rake into your wooden skin,
Right.
which is
Oh,
fine.
what a good,
Yeah.
good sweetie.
And she's just like scratching and like biting at the side of your arm, and Danny like, what the fuck?
See, she wants to play.
Okay. I've literally never seen a cat up close before, so
I was assured this is a very standard, a very standard normal ship's cat.
I'll have to take your word for it.
That's what the lady at the shop said.
That would take the skin off my arm.
Well, then it's good you didn't go for the belly.
Okay. Yeah, Danny's just like, and Coattail's not on board, by the way. Apparently Danny came back to the ship
Right.
without Coattail. Who knows what he's doing?
How did you do in your game of chance?
Oh, I won pretty big. I was actually thinking about going to the tournament tonight that starts. The life ship or something like that. Whatever. I don't know. Sounds like a cool tournament. Coattail taught me the rules. I was pretty good at it. And he's got, I don't think he has anything to show. He just says, yeah, I made some good coin. And he seems like a little more confident, and, he's a little more green, which is good.
Right.
Pale green is bad for him. He's a little darker green, and, just looks healthy, and he's probably a little drunk right now.
Still.
Yeah. But he doesn't get super drunk, right? He gets that like low-key drunk and can stay there for a long time because of his biology.
Right. Unless he's drinking the
Fish whiskey.
fish whiskey.
The fishki.
Well, I'm not sure if we will still be in town tonight, although I suspect we will. If you
Well, I mean, there's a storm coming tonight. You don't want to set sail this afternoon, do you?
only if events force it.
Oh. Okay, well, I'll get the ship ready to sail in weather then.
It might be best just to be prepared.
Okay.
I don't anticipate leaving, but there seems to be a lot going on.
Okay, well, if you see Koto, will you send him back to help me? Because I've got a lot of work to do now.
I will.
Okay. Great. Portina. And he just gives her a thumbs up, and like he doesn't know how to interact with Cat. And hustles off into the hold somewhere to do something.
Okay, I'll clean up the bones and
He's battening down hatches. That's Yeah.
He's looking alive there.
Yes.
I guess that's it then.
Okay.
So we left third at the Giant's Compass, drinking and telling stories.
Yes.
So I'll head back there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we boring you?
Yeah.
How dare you be sleepy?
Wow.
You asked for it.
I need you to roll another die for me.
19.
Ooh.
So when you head out back onto the dock, you immediately spy Portina hopping off the ship onto the dock behind you, thinking that she's in stealth behind like the posts on the side of the dock.
Mm-hmm.
She's like swoops in behind one of those and stops when you turn around to look back. And you could see her there, like her tail sticking out. You're like,
Yeah.
She's a bear behind a tree.
yeah. She's like,
Yeah.
don't look at me.
Portina,
There's no response. She knows you can't see her.
I can see you. You need to stay on the ship.
She puts one paw on the gunnel, like just reaches up to the side of the ship and puts it there.
Like I'm technically on the ship.
Yep. That is 100% the vibe. And just staring at you now that you can see her. Oh. She skitters back on board. and this looks very confused, but like, uh,
I'll bring you another chicken, but stay on board the ship.
all right. And she kind of like slinks down but still watches you go. You turn back a couple times and you could see her like peeking, and then ducks when you look. So, all right. By midday, there is a pretty sturdy wind kicking up, and most people in town are like putting away awnings, and like shops aren't closing, but you could see people are closing storm shutters and just doing basic preparations. Not like, oh my god, we're in an emergency, but
Making sure the umbrellas don't blow away. And
yeah, the guy with the cabbage cart is putting a tarp over it with, securely roped down. Takes really good care of those. So
My cabbages.
yeah, exactly. And what are you all doing?
Well, I guess we'll all meet up back at the Giant's Cauldron.
Compass.
Compass.
I'm gonna say Third's drunk. I don't feel like Courtney has played him as like, oh no, he's not gonna get drunk. He's not gonna get punk and drublick. Like, right? Like he would get drunk. Yeah?
He drinks.
Yeah. And he was very badly injured earlier today. So
I think that it could be excused with the brush with death.
yeah.
Mhm.
We'll let Courtney can correct it later. If we
I
have
think
to,
most of
that's
the time Third doesn't, because Third apparently has some sort of a past.
fine. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but this is different.
And has a great story to tell. And
Being
lots
so
of people have been
being so close to death.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's reminded him of how fragile,
Yeah.
precious time
How
is.
It really
fleeting.
makes you think.
Yeah. So yeah, he has a crowd of people around his table and is just having a great time. And when you come into the Giant's Compass, you can see Cotil has his arm around a different guy than from yesterday, or well, I guess like 2 days ago now, or whenever,
Yeah.
whatever, that
Yeah.
amount of time. New guy, that's fine. But you can also tell Cotil is keeping an eye on Third.
Mm.
So he's here, having fun, he's on leave, and keeping a lookout.
Such strong auntie uncle energy we all have on this. Well, all Kodil and I have.
Yeah. But when
Hashtag called out.
you know what I'm even gonna say, when Cotil sees the three of you, are we all
Yeah, I think
arriving
we're all,
around?
yeah.
We just happen to show up all at the same time. Cotil sees you, gives Wall a nod, let's say, because that's who he saw first. So he sort of nods at the three of you,
Mm.
and then he and his friend, Date, head towards the door at the end of the gaming tables that goes upstairs to rooms.
Okay.
They're probably gonna play Pinochle.
Yeah.
The forbidden game.
Mm.
You have to play in private.
Yeah.
So.
We got some weird rules going on at the Island of the Dead, but
Yeah.
okay.
No, they're just gonna have sex.
Yeah.
Oh. Pinochle. Okay.
All right. So
Coffee. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Netflix.
Most of the gaming tables have been shut down. There's like some right up at the front that are actually full because there's only like 4 tables open, right? And everyone's playing at those. And then the back 3/4 of the gaming area is roped off, and you can see there are like bar staff setting up things and arranging things in a little different way, putting up some signs and setting up for the life night celebration, and yeah, so that's all getting ready at lunchtime right now.
I mean, if it is lunchtime, then what are the specials today?
How dare you?
You have said lunchtime 6 times.
Yes.
I am IRL hungry.
I
I
know,
blame
me
you.
too now. It's a It's a hell lime chicken wing dip. So it's like chicken wings with a hell lime sauce that that is available. Because he couldn't get enough hell limes to make whole entrees, so he's having to do dipping sauces, and you could just feel the displeasure from the kitchen.
I was looking forward to hell lime marmalade.
Yeah. Well, maybe next season. Or if you could convince Last Call on 10th to give up some of the hell limes that they apparently bought all of.
I don't know who the chef is over at Last Call as well. Who was so invested in the hell limes.
Or just somebody who wanted to screw over, what's this guy's name?
Captain or Chef
Spicer.
Spicer.
Spicer, yeah. So, we don't have to go beat for beat of the whole day. What kind of big picture, what do we want to accomplish? Are we just hanging out for a bit? Are we trying to eat so we can get packed up and go?
I have a thing for eating.
Okay.
So, are you ordering the wings?
The hot wings. Mm-hmm. The hell wings. Hell wings. That's what they're called.
You got it.
First try.
Nailed it in one.
I'm gonna order a charcuterie plate.
Okay. Yeah, it comes out. That's as expansive and strange and bizarre as last time.
Okay. I'm going to turn to Lucky and say, I think you were right, and I may not have given this a full chance. And I'm going to take a piece of salami, and I'm going to slide it up my
You're okay.
on my arm.
Just rub the meat
Rub the meat into my arm.
your arm. That's a normal sentence that's okay to say on the internet.
Hey, I'm not gonna yuck your young, man. You do you.
I mean, different strokes for different
Yeah,
folks.
you know.
Nick, you could tell me if this is wrong, but I think that you're onto something here, or something's onto you at least. The texture of the fats and the spices and the flavor of it actually starts to come through.
As the warmth, as you rub it, it warms up the salami, and some of the fat like melts into your skin.
Yeah.
That
was the plan. That's very
oils.
greasy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm. Is it pepper?
Yes. Yes, it is pepper. Also, he uses a pepper blend, so what you are actually experiencing is 3 separate peppers.
Mm.
Yeah,
It
I think you had like a 2% sense of what pepper smells like, air quotes, right? But now you're like, oh, pepper.
It's bracing. This is what it's like.
Well, I wouldn't presume to tell you, but the sauce is quite
It's good to keep the salt and pepper together.
Exactly. But the sauce on these that it was served with this chicken is actually has a very refined depth of flavor as well, if you would like to experience that.
If you don't mind, I don't want to take away from your wings.
I have used exactly as much as I need to use.
Well, thank you. And yes, finger in the cup, and I'm going to smear it on the other arm.
Yep.
Because I don't want to mix it with the salami.
Roll a die for me. I don't know. I feel like this should be randomized a little bit.
You do? Because I just think that it's very hot,
Mm-hmm.
and that it's not going to be a pleasant experience. Like if you want me to roll a die, I will. But
Yeah, there's a bit of randomization I want to check.
14.
Okay.
So a success,
Yeah.
whatever that means.
Pretty quick, like as soon as you get it on your finger, even before you transfer it to your arm, you get a full sense of the flavor of it, and then your finger starts to smoke.
Mm.
And
Like,
apparently,
physically?
yeah, like it is about to catch on fire.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Don't get in someone's drink. Okay, whose drink was it?
You know, I think Lucky's gonna offer.
Okay, yeah. There's a sizzling, and whatever it was that was happening reacted with the wood of your body and was
I
combusting.
I don't like that. That was not good.
Well,
It burned in a way that I've never felt before.
There's a really pungent scent. It's not unpleasant for the humans, by the way. It's like kind of a, like that wood-fired spicy pizza kind of vibe. Oh God, that sounds.
what have you
Damn
done
it.
to us?
Sal is making like almost like gagging noises, and just there's this acrid
Goat's milk. Goat's milk.
no, oh God, what?
So
How can you eat that?
a waitress you haven't seen before kind of rushes over and is like smelling the air, like, oh, did somebody spill hell lime on the table? I can clean that up real quick. I have a
no outside food or drink.
no, there's like they're serving hell limes
Right.
here. So so the waitress is like, did somebody spill hell lime on the table? I could smell.
Yeah, basically, yes, something like that.
No.
Oh, okay, where is it?
I'm gonna be showing off my
Oh.
finger.
God, you're 8 feet tall, but sitting down just still seems like
Yeah.
you're probably taller than this like
Yep.
5'6" person. Like, but anyway, whatever. She
Your hell lime did this to me.
Okay, and
I can taste it. It's
pulls a black rag out of her apron that's a little damp, right? And just wipes your hand off, and immediately there's this cooling, right? And she says, "Okay, just so you know, this is we serve hell lime sauce in that pewter dish because that's the only thing that doesn't react with the nature of hell limes. So I wouldn't just let me know if you spill any of it. I'll take care of it."
Good to know.
And there is a vague, like, it's not sour, it's like a fresh dairy kind of smell, but it doesn't look like this is a milk-soaked rag, right? That would get nasty pretty quick. But that's for your refined palates, right? You can some sort of base soaked into the rag.
Well, I guess we have both had a new experience today.
both.
Just not gonna respond to that because nothing I could say would not be terrible. Lucky is like,
Imagine the problem if somebody had, like, the first person with wooden teeth who went to have some hell lime sauce. Oh boy.
well,
I'm
glad you enjoyed the salami.
yes, me too. I think I may need to take this slower than I had thought.
Spice can be an acquired taste.
And not one that I'm interested in acquiring. And
Yeah, I think it's got.
Sal is waving his finger in the air, which
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's the Nick. I'm sure you have in real life skinned your knee or your elbow or something. I think it feels like that. Like it's not a wound, but it's annoying, you know. And you're like, oh, and
it's
then you
so
keep,
sensitive and weird.
and then you keep touching
but
things.
but I can't stop.
Yeah,
It's the missing tooth.
yeah, and oh, and also as a word worker, you'll appreciate it looks like when all the oil has been stripped out from a piece of wood, and it has that sort of dry, desiccated look, whereas the rest of your wooden body looks, like healthy, well-oiled wood. This is like a little paler and just it's dry and
Oh, are you carrying any of that polish that the boatman gave you still? That might actually help.
I left it on board ship.
not a bad idea, though. All right.
Carry some wood seal on you at all times.
It's gonna be a fun first aid kit.
Yeah.
Get the first aid
Yeah.
kit. Sal has first aid. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Is that a sander?
Yeah. There's like sandpaper, polish rag,
Linseed oil.
Yeah.
yeah, linseed oil. Yeah.
One of those tacky attack rag
Yep,
for taking
All right. So, what else do we need to do in the afternoon? Are we getting ready to go? Are we staying for the game night?
The only thing, we don't want to set sail in the middle of the night when the storm is over, so...
I don't know how the system will react with me. Do you either of you have any interest in playing this Life Day game? I know Danny expressed
Life night, but
Life Night. Sorry.
we'll call something Life Day. And
Ooh,
its
who
official
Wookiee
name
indeed.
is
Yeah.
Life Chit Night, but everyone just calls it Life Night.
Well...
Danny was very interested in participating. He seems to be doing quite well at the gambling.
Honestly, from what I understand, speaking to some of the people as I set up, you're playing for minutes and hours rather than weeks, months, or years. And also, I would like to know how authentic this experience is.
Hmm.
I'm curious. Especially as this is a sanctioned event.
Then I think by all means we should experience it.
I've gambled with my life plenty of times already. In for a penny, in for a pound, I suppose.
Also, a few hours after lunchtime, Danny shows up. But actually he's not all like sweaty and tired. I imagine he sweats a little different because he's part fish person. I mean, he's a fish person, just very humanoid. But shows up looking quite coiffed, his gills and fins. And does he have hair? I forget I think they're hairless.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
I think we said no hair.
Yeah.
They're diving creatures.
Yeah.
Mentally, I was thinking of the makeup that Alan Rickman has in Galaxy Quest.
No.
It's sort of like
Oh.
vaguely
Yeah.
fish.
A family of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the right neighborhood to be in. I like that. Because I think like Shape of Water is kind of too severe from what I'm thinking, so that I like that better. Yeah. But when Danny comes in, he waves at the three of you, comes over, and says, "Captain, I got the ship all buttoned up. Everything's ready for the storm." And then he is interrupted by I think a different waitress from the one who showed up to fix the Hellline problem, but a waitress who is just like, "Danny, welcome back.
High
It's
roller
so good
club."
to see you." Yeah, like he's been gone for a number of hours, right? And this gal, but also like looks like she's crushing a little bit, because they're both young and whatever. I mean, young adults, we all know what I'm talking about.
College kid's gonna college kid.
Yeah, exactly. And he seems not immune to her charms. And they go to the bar where he has like apparently like a credit at the bar and is like there's some stuff set up for him there, and the bartender's like, Danny! Like, everybody knows his name.
There's a hurdy-gurdy version of Luck Be a Lady tonight
Yeah,
playing
exactly.
as he walks in.
Exactly.
That's gonna be stuck in my head now.
Yeah. You're welcome, America, and wherever else you happen to be listening. All right, so I just wanted to establish that Danny's got.
He's kind of a big deal around here.
Yeah.
Except you, Canada. You know what you did.
I mean, I like.
But, you know,
I
apologize. Then we're good.
Never.
I mean, it's Canada. Haven't they apologized several times already?
Yep. Before we accuse them of anything.
Yeah.
Not for this.
Is Dorklord Canada with us tonight in the chat?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's
But yeah, that would have
No.
been
Much
that
One,
less
would've
one of
been
our one of our moderators is Dorklord Canada. Who we love our moderators very much. Did I say monitors?
Yeah.
Moderators is what I was trying to
We
say.
love our monorails.
Yes.
monorails.
I grew up in Seattle with a monorail, believing we were all going to have monorails, like that they were going to be this extensive travel system all around the country.
But only Seattle and West Haverbrook.
Seattle, like a little strip. Like, it is not a useful transit device. It is a curiosity at best. And I was like, I was lied to. I love monorails.
They're so handy.
They are. They're really convenient, easy. It's less expensive to build than like an elevated train or whatever. You know. Anyway, whatever. I don't care.
I'm not
Welcome
still
to Monorail
bitter.
Cast, where we talk all about monorails.
Mm.
The wave of the future.
Yeah.
This just in, all cities in this world have monorails. We should have taken the monorail to the Queen's Palace. We wouldn't have been attacked by giants.
Yeah.
All right. So there's that little bit of commotion when Danny comes in. Not everybody knows him, but like there's enough of there's some other players there who are like, oh, hey, they're it's just very friendly and collegial. There's probably somebody giving him a stink eye because he took a lot of their money. But at this point, the door at the end of the gaming section, there's like a little roped off section where you can walk past all the gaming tables they're preparing to get to the rooms area. Kotil is literally sprinting down the length of that with like holding his pants on and shirt is unbuttoned and just flapping in the wind as he is running directly to your table.
Is there a problem?
Okay, so he gets you, rise, and he's like pointing out the door, panting, and just saying, "Rise is here."
Oh no.
But all the like storm shutters are closed, and he's like pointing at a just there's no way to look outside without going over there.
Well,
Window. So, Rise crew.
are they attacking?
But they're coming here.
Oh. Well,
We should probably leave.
back exit?
Yeah. Back this way.
Danny, I think we need to leave. I know you were looking forward to tonight. Rise.
Aye, Captain.
Store high, Danny.
Yes. Okay. And he gets up and sort of sorts out his tab, whatever it is he's got going on there. Some money changes hands, and yeah. So the 5 of you with Kotil, right? And I guess you collect third.
Yeah.
Okay. Third is like mid-story and just keeps telling it.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll just pick the.
Yeah. Get him. I don't think you have to like bodily carry him like a baby, but you know.
Oh no, but it's fun, so that's what I'm
Sure,
gonna do.
Okay. And
Rock
everyone
him to
just,
sleep.
this is part of the story, right? Like, everyone's like, yeah. But as the 5, 6 of you, I guess, get to the back where you would go up to rooms, the front door, just the big doors open. They kind of like bang open because it's really windy out now. But like 6 crew come in. Not, you could just see them a little bit from over here and glance over your shoulder. It's not too hard to see. They come in casually.
Which uniforms are they in?
The
I'm saying that as a joke, but I also am deliberately asking that because if they're older uniforms, it means that they've probably been out to sea and just came back
Yeah.
and may not have communication with anyone
They
yet.
might not have an update yet.
right. So the old uniforms were purple and white.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the new ones were supposed to be royal blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, they're in purple and white.
Okay.
Okay.
So funny.
I
Which
do
means
love
they
that this
can-
has become
They
a-
can be set on fire.
right.
Yeah, they're not inflammable. They're
Yeah.
flammable.
Mm.
It's infuriating to me that flammable and inflammable mean the same
What?
They-
Flammable and
it-
inflammable mean the same thing?
It's so frustrating.
thing. Okay, so as you glance, on your way up, trying to, escape casually, you see them come in, and it's not like they've burst in, looking for a criminal, right? It's just 6 Rise crew have
Mhm.
come in and are, halfway into a song and,
Yeah.
arm around shoulders, and, they come in and find a table and, well, you don't see what they do because you leave, but, in the stairwell, you have a moment to catch your breath. There's the stairs going up, the door closes. No one can see you in here right now. What do y'all want to do?
Well,
It does not appear they are searching for anyone.
And Kotel finishes. He's like buttoning his shirt and like tucking into his pants. And oh shit, my shoes. Danny's like, oh yeah, shoes are. You people wear shoes. Shoes are ridiculous.
Agreed.
Yeah, he high fives that because that's the thing we do in this world.
better that no one sees us.
Regardless of whether they're looking for trouble, I would feel more comfortable if we avoided it.
And Kotel says, I've just hired on with my old captain. He apparently seems reluctant to say gallant, right? Like he starts to say it and then stops himself. He's like not sure what's gonna happen if he says the bad word.
Mm.
I hired on with him after the fact. Are they gonna recognize your ship?
Probably.
Huh.
Well, it seems like
And Danny, like that had never occurred to Danny. He was like, oh.
Good thing we readied the ship for weather.
I'm sorry you won't get to compete in the tournament this year.
I mean, are you sure? I mean, it doesn't seem like they're looking for us.
It's only a matter of time before they're contacted by the local office.
They'll be checking in.
Is there a local? Is there even a Rise office here?
Danny.
I mean, maybe there's. I mean,
Danny.
did you see Rachel?
Son, if you wish to stay, you
Man,
can.
I had a shot. She just looks,
There will be other
he
Rachels.
just looks so like his fins droop, and he's just like.
There will be other Rachels. There is a Rachel at every port, I'm sure.
Or Monica.
Was,
Just a little bit.
that was. We were in love. And he just looks wistfully off into the distance of the corner of the wooden stair.
Son, nobody told you it was going to be this way.
No.
Let's go.
Thank you for that. Hopefully we didn't blow out anyone's headphones in the microphone there. But worth it.
Definitely.
All right. So, we go up the stairs, out a window. Is
I
that the
mean,
plan? Or do we want to just like fly casual, walk out the front way?
no, because I feel like Sal is
Yeah.
Pretty distinctive. Yep.
Yeah.
immediately recognizable.
Especially to Rise.
And Danny's not nothing either. Like merfolk who work on land or ships are not that common. So, like,
And a
he's
mer-
the only merfolk in the bar tonight. So, like,
And a mer person with a 8 foot tall
wooden friend.
wooden person.
Yeah, that's would fit a certain criteria.
So even if they don't know what happened with Gallant,
It-
less to report back.
I think it's only a matter of time before they do.
Then we should exit stage left, as it were.
And the third starts telling the story about exiting a stage.
Yeah, the time that they had to go out a window.
Yeah.
And, and the ladder wasn't where it was supposed to be, and yeah.
I'll go first, and then I can assist with everyone else coming down.
Reach. Yeah, if you're 8 feet tall, reaching up 10 feet
Yeah.
is nothing. Like, yeah, easy peasy. Get a ladder. You are the ladder.
Why not Zoidberg?
So yeah, I'll climb out a window, or maybe I think one of these rooms, one of the places we have has like the French doors onto the balcony.
Oh yeah,
I'll
definitely.
lower myself.
Did
off
they
of it.
comp Danny like a suite because he's a high roller?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sure they did. Yeah,
Mhm.
yep. He's got a big room available. And he had just wistfully is like, oh, I didn't even get into the bar.
I mean, those bottles are small. I'm sure you could take a couple with you.
Oh yeah. And he like just grabs half a dozen into his pockets are clinking as he's
Perfect.
Great.
All
Try
right.
not to break any on the way down. And I vault off the
yeah,
end of the balcony.
sure. We're not gonna roll to descend from a second story window. But yeah. So the 6 of you are back on the boardwalk, right? Third, Coattail, Danny, and you 3. Yes. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, the wind is really picked up. It's dark. You know, it's only like 4 in the afternoon or something, but it's like almost sundown dark. So, you know, the storm's only going to get worse. But out on the pier, there are, you know, probably 7 or 8 ships docked, and one of them you can see is prominently flying the Rise flags. And this is a rather than a warship, it's a, well, I guess a galleon could be a warship, but this is a like shipping galleon. Like it's just enormous,
Like
right?
like a treasure galleon.
Yeah, it's like a huge cargo hold, and can probably defend itself, but it's by no means a battleship, right?
Yeah.
And you could see some of the glowing runes on the bottom of it, even from all the way down here, because it's a really distinctive thing, and it's so dark out. But also you can see the runes on your ship glowing a little bit. Pretty distinctive. Is Rise the only shipping company with runes on the bottom? No. Is it probably a Rise ship? Yes.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to do?
Wall, did you keep those flags, or did you throw them in the sea?
Do you have a flag?
I've kept the flags.
No country, no flag. No flag, no country.
Do we want to try and raise a false flag, or do you think that would attract more attention?
We could radio them and unfurl them if need be.
I suppose what I'm trying to get to is, should we head out to sea, or do you think we can disguise ourselves and remain in port? Everyone?
The Salamander is a...
Oh, Danny says, I think we could probably disguise. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Weren't actually soliciting your. Why don't you have a drink, Danny?
Well, actually, yeah, I think I will. But so also though, Cotil is kind of like, I mean, we could probably make it work if we get you know, he's like losing the word for like a hooded cloak. He's like trying to,
Cover.
you know,
I
yeah.
am the dread pirate robber.
Thank you. Yes. If we headed up, what's it called? An apocalypse? What do you call it?
Oh.
An apocalypse cloak?
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, if only we had an apocalypse cloak. Maybe Bumble Switch has one.
I believe, although the seas may be treacherous at the moment, you said the storm would pass in a few hours, correct?
Sometime this evening.
And I do remember that it would hurt you to fly the rise flag again.
It would not be pleasant, but
It would
needs must.
also hurt if the ship got damaged in a storm. So I just want to throw that out there that, you know, that's a real possibility.
My main concern is that if they know that we're here, it's not this ship. It would probably have a fairly small complement of soldiers or Marines, but if they make it very clear where we are,
But if we fly the rise flag, then and just stay on board, no one would think anything of it.
that's what I
And Danny says, and a couple of us could stay here and keep a lookout. Just, you know, to be able to, you know.
How prominently, like how conspicuous do you want to make yourself tonight exactly?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty low key.
Can you not be?
Not be low key?
Yes.
I mean, I'm not really the center of attention kind of guy. You know, he looks at Third and he's like he liked the little bit of attention he was getting
Danny,
from.
how, you know, I'm just asking you, just as a matter of interest, how many people in that tavern knew your name when we walked in just now?
A couple, and Cotil says like a dozen.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. There will be other gambling contests.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's gonna be a really fun night. And like, they're not after us.
Technically, they are, even if they don't realize that we're here. And the idea would be to continue to have them believe that we are not here, rather than have your lucky streak make them wonder who this person is exactly, and where did they come from, and who are their friends, and...
it's probably best to sail under the horizon.
He says this quieter than I'm going to, but for the microphone. But he kind of like under his breath says, "Well, we could just sink the ship and let them deal with that."
Danny, the glory you would gain at that table measures to what? Minutes, hours. Come with us. Sail with us.
Wasn't really
The glory we earn together will last days, weeks, months, maybe even a year.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't really the game. I was that. It's
Rachel.
Come back to her alive, son.
well,
It was meant to be.
Well, I want you to roll an inspiration for me there. That's
11.
yeah, that's a success.
Success.
Okay, yeah. Danny kind of, you know, straightens his spine and yeah. Okay, well, I get it. Yeah, I'll yep, you're all right, Lucky. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm with you.
I'll be there for you.
Okay, good. Because the next thing I was gonna have
Thank
to do
you.
is take off my shoe, and no one wants.
I mean, everyone should take. Shoes are stupid. I don't know why y'all wear them.
Sometimes to knock some sense into young people.
Yeah.
I like to leave an imprint in every ass I kick.
Wall was here.
That's what it says on the bottom of your boots.
You've been walled.
Got them all day. Okay, so we're making our way.
Does Wall wear Birkenstocks?
Yes.
Well done. All right, so we're headed back down the dock.
Mhm.
Okay. As you pass the dockmaster's hut.
Okay. Third. We're gonna play a game now, and this game is who can be quiet longest.
I love that game. I am the quietest. You will never hear anything
Starting
I have
now.
to say.
And
Right.
is it
No,
three,
yes.
2,
Yep.
1.
3. Now, hold on 1 second though. The rules of the game are they? What if my feet? And he's like still walking towards the dock, and
Right. I'm carrying. I'm still.
oh,
I'm
that's
still
right. You're
carrying
like
him.
carrying him, and he's like, "What if I cough? That doesn't count, right?" Like, I'm gonna need you to roll a die. You want to convince drunk third to play by the rules of the game.
Oh no!
Is that a 1? It looks like a
Oh my
1 from
God.
here, and I think it's a 1.
Oh my god.
Boy, it's the night for him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He says, "Oh wait, I forgot to tell you, the Ballad of Sal. I wrote
No.
it today."
Okay, tell me
And-
on the ship.
And he launches into
I
No,
version
it's-
1.
I'm
of the-
gonna spend 1 AP
Yeah.
and just nick him slightly.
Nice.
Okay.
Better you than me.
All right. That's your knockout drug, right? Okay.
Just for an hour.
Go to sleep.
I'm sure he will feel better.
Yeah,
anyways.
Drink your NyQuil.
He just immediately passes out. And sorry, Courtney. But as you get the situation under control and approach the pier, the dockmaster's office, that little like tiny house
Yeah.
hanging off the side of the dock, is the lights are on in there, and you'll note like Miss Green, wait, what?
Glitter.
Glitterhorn was not in the bar or anything. And as you pass by, she kind of floats up to the window and taps on her like, "Hello, come here." In her like tinkling, beautiful Disney princess voice and mouthful of razor sharp teeth.
Is that directed to us or?
Yes,
okay.
particularly to Sal.
I think it'd be weird not to go.
Yes.
I head over there.
So she gestures for you to come in, and the door just opens itself. The door is a little small, even for most humans. Like it's only 6 feet tall at the lintel, so that's how big a space we're talking about here. Like the inside is probably 7 feet clearance.
Okay.
And the whole thing is like maybe 10 by 10 square feet. Because it's got a desk, but it has all this like magical efficiency stuff in it where stuff flips and opens and rotates and slides into the wall. And
Right.
I
I hunch down.
she like
and-
lives inside a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hunch down and stick my head in and
Mhm.
say yes.
I see you have. Oh, does anyone remember what Third said his name was to her?
Third.
hmm
Okay, yes. I see you have the 3 of spades with you.
Yes.
Well, I hope you're not on your way out. I mean, he promised we would have drinks and
Just calling it an early night.
okay.
Had a bit of a rough day. I'm sure he'll tell you all about it in the morning.
Okay. He it, it's made quite an impression here, and look forward to seeing him again.
I'm sure he looks forward to seeing you as well.
Okay. Well, obviously, I run a tight ship here, and if you do need to leave your slip, let me know,
Of
and
course.
we'll get you signed out. I'd hate to have to charge you extra next time you come, for the slip fee, but
Understandable. We're not intending on leaving.
sure. And you'll let him know that I was prepared to do him a favor.
Absolutely.
Okay. Do y'all need anything?
No.
The slip is fine. You have all the room that you need.
You have done an excellent job.
Okay. Well, lovely to see all of you. She really means third, but here you are with him. I think Danny and Coachella are outside because it's so much space in there. Yeah. For a reminder, she's a like 1.5 foot tall. 2 sets of gossamer fairy wings and I think like a emerald green, like Tinkerbell type dress. Little more fashionable than hers is like kind of like a rag situation. Hers is more couture, Tinkerbell couture, if you will.
Tinkature.
Yes, Tinkature.
Tincture versus tincture.
Do you watch Making the Cut?
Is that the
Really?
new one that
That Heidi and
Tim Gunner on?
Tim, once they broke free of their old contract, they made this new show, and they're like on season 3 of it now. It's really fun.
Have you ever watched the Great British Sewing Bee?
No,
You can find clips and stuff on YouTube. and
is it as
it's-
delightful as the baking show?
It is.
Okay, that's a strong argument. All right, thank you.
And, doesn't have Paul Hollywood, so obviously a point in its favor.
Oh, you don't like Paul Hollywood? Is he problematic? All right, we'll talk about this later. I want to know. But I'll be glad to know. All right, so you all head towards your ship. The galleon is basically parked across the pier from your ship because, of course, it is. But on board, you hear singing, and there's apparently whatever it is they're singing has like a stomping part of the refrain. It's like bump, 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 and then they, the next verse. Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yes, and there's probably a dozen people on deck. You can see it's pretty high up. It sits higher in the water than your ship does. And the cargo hold, it just must be enormous, right?
And it must be unloaded if it's sitting so high in the water.
Yeah. Or what they're carrying is weirdly light, or
Or their runes are slightly more effective.
that is true.
Maybe they've got a load of shipstone in there.
Yep. Sailstone.
Sailstone.
Or feathers. It's just packed full of feathers.
The hat market is just going to explode inside.
Yeah, with third quiet, there's really nothing to draw attention to you.
Danny, I need your help.
Okay.
I need
Let's
a...
think the ship.
No, I was thinking a length of canvas from the hold,
Oh, okay.
and I want to paint a new sobriquet for the back of the ship.
All right. Do we have paint below?
I have black.
That'll
Oh.
do.
All right. Yeah, and he gets Coattail to come with him, and they head below deck to find the extra canvas.
Any ideas? I was leaning towards Marigold, but if you have another ship idea, another ship name,
I feel like you should choose that name. If you like Marigold, it is... I don't have an allergy, if that's what you're asking.
I just don't want us to all be on a ship that is somehow anathema to you.
I'm pledged to you. So whatever name you choose to live and sail by, I am yours.
Okay. So, there's nothing hindering you from painting a new canvas and hoisting that up as the name of the ship.
Yeah, and I'm figuring that the dark and the storm will sort of hide that it's a piece of canvas.
Yep.
Lashed over the name instead of an actual
Yep.
chunk of wood there.
Yep.
Is our mage friend still recovering aboard our ship?
Yeah.
Let me know if this is too OP, but Walla is going to recite a passage. I promise to actively protect the balance and natural life of all, and make sure that that balance never comes to danger. To every person, place, or group that becomes persecuted by force, I will render my aid, my sword, my shield, and my life. I pledge to make amends for slaying the king, the Lich Lord, for not doing it fast enough. I complete my vow. And according to this, my eyes begin to have a faint glow.
Oh.
And I can now petition, which is to heal a small group around me and restore their HP. I would like to do this for the mage.
Yeah. And also,
That last 1 hit point?
Lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would consider this for the ship if anyone has wounds.
So my petition is, I have to say it a certain way. In the name of the consulate and the balance that it protects, I request strength, I request vigor, I request favor, for I am your humble servant, and I am pledged to you.
Okay. And this is as you've come below decks.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And if the magician comes to, I will ask, can you help us evade detection?
So first, the vow is heard and received. And there's a moment, there's a rush of, in Return of the King is the third one, right?
I think so.
Mm-hmm. When he calls the people from under the mountain,
Mhm.
and they come rushing through the ships,
Mhm.
and just there is just a sprint. There's the like neighing of horses, and there's just a moment of this rushing power, and everyone in the ship is lit with this kind of unearthly pale green glow for a moment. And if anyone has wounds, those are healed. And the mage, I think, does cough himself awake and
You are safe. You are aboard the Salamander.
where's that son of a bitch?
We'll get to him soon enough, but for now, can I ask a favor? Can you help us avoid detection in whatever manner you can?
Who are you?
We are crew of the live ship.
We're
Yeah.
the ones who fished you out of the water.
The Salamander.
The one and only.
And he's like now looking at this 8-foot tall wooden person, right? Just so it's been said, it was never personal. And he's like really like, trying to get his voice back
Yeah.
together, and he's been several days.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. It sounded like you had quite the personal relationship with Gallant.
that was. It was a job, and then it was something more. What did you want from me?
Can you help us evade detection or come to our defense now in this moment? For I believe the Rise are in the same port as us.
They're 2 berths over.
I was never one of them. Can I carve something into the ship?
That depends on what.
Runes.
More,
I can make the ship slim away. What he did to y'all.
How much space are we talking?
And he pulled his arm out about 6 feet. He's like 6 feet tall, you know, so it's about 6 foot is his arm span. He says,
Right.
I need a scroll about this wide and a foot tall. Now, by scroll, he means like a section to carve in. Yeah.
Right.
And it has to be a continuous, either one plank or it has to be a single piece of wood.
Yes, that can be arranged.
Okay. I'll do it, and then we can talk payment.
That can be arranged if we survive the night.
That seems fair.
Do you need anything else?
A pure silver engraving tool, flask of mead, and I mean some ground up fireflies if you have them, but that's not exactly necessary.
I'll see what we can find.
Okay?
What are your thoughts on Gallons, now that you're here with us?
Is he dead yet?
That's all I need to know.
No, he remains among the living to the best of my knowledge. And look over it.
He was the last of that we saw of him. I wouldn't say tucking his tail between his legs and running, but mostly because he didn't have any sails left to run with.
He's not smart enough to run for his life. Nobody here's gonna stop me if I have issue with him.
I mean, stop, cut in front, attack from behind while you engage him from the front. I mean, there's so many options there.
Okay. He rubs his hands together and there's this like literal electricity in his hands, just kind of sparking a little bit back and forth, and then he's like gets that under control. It was like welling out of him, and he's like, and like shoves his hands together harder and puts the electricity away, whatever that was.
So what I picked up in our last level up was shock.
Yeah.
Does that give me any insight into what sort of mage
Oh yeah.
he is? Like, I just want to try and recognize the magic now that I have some electricity magic myself.
He is a lot like what's that called? A grounding rod? Lightning rod.
Lightning rod?
Yeah. He can like it's helpful like if he were already in a storm, for instance, right? He can call lightning.
Okay.
And direct it and do something with it and probably generate some electricity in an otherwise situation, but like in a storm or with some sort of supply of electricity, he can do something. Based on what you just saw, he could control electricity
Right.
to some extent.
Okay.
Who knows what else he could do. But apparently that's an expression of his rage, is that electrical.
Cool.
Your shock is actually probably a lot more controlled and tidy than what he's able to do. So it's good. It's not like overlap.
Also, just a quick tone check. Are we all cool with what Wall did? I forgot to ask ahead of time.
No, you mentioned it ahead of time.
Okay.
I was fine with it. Yeah,
I thought it was a cool idea, so I
it
just
was
ran with it.
cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm really happy to have that vow out there, and I know it was kind of hinging on your power choices there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm good with
Cool.
that.
Awesome.
It was a good time for a reveal like that.
Yeah.
So there's no turning back at this point. If at any time I fail in one of my 3 promises, I permanently lose 1 HP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll have you slack that to me later so that I can cause problems.
Yes, please.
But for tonight, we set sail, and you put the fake name on the side.
Were we sailing? I thought we were going to try.
Sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah, no, we were gonna just try to raise the rise flags and put the fake name on, and hopefully just.
Okay, but we're not
low-key for a
casting
bit.
off.
Yeah, the runes were more of a last ditch if we need to
Yeah, so he's not activating the runes. He's
just having them
preparing
set. Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
Okay. So, how likely is it that we have a pure silver engraving tool aboard?
Will
I
my
don't-
spear do?
Is your spear silver?
Oh no, it's probably not silver.
I don't think
Mm.
so.
What I was thinking was maybe not something that was specifically engraving tool, but maybe one of Doc's tools is a pure silver
Oh yeah.
thing that we can kind of
Mm.
like get Doc pissed at me too.
That would be fun. Why don't you roll a die for me?
All right. 11, so a success.
It's actually not Doc. You recall, rather than a wooden block, Chef Tarina keeps her knives in this rolled up canvas. And there's like 5 or 6 of them in there, different types. And I imagine for Sal it's a little bewildering. Like, one knife, it cuts meat. Like, what? Is that accurate for Sal, or is he interested in how different knives work differently? And
No, I don't think it would cross his mind because Sal doesn't eat, so they wouldn't be aware of like the, intricacies of preparation, I think.
yeah. Well,
I don't think it's like, why would you ever need more than one knife? I think it's more like, wow, you need all of that to eat? That seems like a
Okay.
lot of work.
So one of the knives in there is pure silver because when you're preparing moon urchins, you have to slice them with a silver knife or they explode.
How did they figure that out?
Painfully.
Yeah. Well, they cut a lot of them with the wrong knives, so they
Yeah.
know they exploded, and then
Yeah, but they kept doing it. They
yeah.
thought
Well,
they found-
probably somebody accidentally got a silver knife into one of them, or like
Some dinnerware.
yeah, like fuck it. Oh, it didn't explode.
Holy shit, these are amazing.
and
we don't
by-
have to just strap knives to them and throw them at our enemies.
Yeah, right. And I would say they don't go off like a grenade, but they do go off like a porcupine kind of thing, just made up moon urchins. So, yeah. So,
Everyone's covered in fish guts.
yep. It's so it's a long knife with like a curvy bit at the end, like curves back on itself.
Uh-huh.
And you would probably need to like straighten that out and
When you're cutting a line and it explodes full of spines, that's moon urchin.
beautiful. Thank you. Take 5 more real life.
Hey, I just
XP.
leveled up. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
In real life.
All right. So the you know where the roll of knives are. Tarina has been asleep in her bunk this whole time. After her outburst earlier, she disappeared to her bunk. I don't think you've ever borrowed her knives before, but you know where they are. Like they get lashed into this one part of one drawer, and you know where they sit.
I'm not gonna just go steal her knives. Her knife.
Just
I
the
know it's
one.
important.
She's got all those other knives in there.
Oh god, that is such a good.
I'm trying to appeal to Sal logic.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
but
No.
please
That's
feel
good.
free
That's
to
good.
color this in how you want. It does not have to go this way. I'm just being a dick.
The thing is, I think Sal tries to be very considerate
Yeah,
of
people,
everyone.
it is someone's
and
property,
has
that
screwed up in some
Yeah,
in
I
some
respect that.
occasions.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
I don't.
What about the dart that we use to throw at the map?
I don't know if that would be silver, would it? Pure silver?
Let's see. Nope.
Gonna see
Okay.
if you had a silver dagger.
But I don't.
Well, for fighting
Because
wares.
all the dice hate me today.
Yeah. Wares are
No,
shifty.
all the dice are giving us good story. Good story
I
beats.
think it's real important that I said wares are shifty, and
Yeah.
I just wanted to put that out there again for safety. You're welcome.
Yeah.
We'll cut that out.
Leave it in.
We'll fix it in post.
I'll fix you in post. I'm the one who exports this damn show.
Wall's been written off the show.
It's weird.
He just had a big reveal.
Everyone's off the show except Jason. He's in there by himself. Like,
I have to go help my planet.
yeah.
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 So, no, Sal is going to knock on Tarina's door.
Fuck off.
I know you're upset, but I have a favor I need to ask.
What's she upset about? Oh, she didn't want to go
didn't
ashore and
wanna
she
go
was getting pressured about it. Yeah, okay.
It's,
Oh.
It's for... It's
Oh, okay. So, yeah, come in, Sal. Sorry, I thought you were her.
No.
She means Doc.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
And Sal knows, probably.
Yeah.
But just nods and... you know, are the doors on the ship Sal size? Because I don't think they are. I think they're human sized.
I think they could have become Sal size if you wanted them to be in the intervening time.
Okay.
I like the idea that everything's a little bit too big for everyone else. Maybe not the galley because you never went in there anyway. You're like, I don't know what that room is for. Humans go and like mash stuff into their face like
So yeah, I'll open the door and walk in.
okay.
The mage awoke.
Oh shit. Okay, and she's like in her hammock and like
No,
sits up.
it's okay. We've he seems to be fine.
Oh, we're not fighting.
No.
Okay.
No. In fact, he's going to help us. And to do so, he needs to carve a rune into me, into the ship.
What? Oh. What? What?
Do
No, what?
Do you remember how the Rye ship came upon us?
Yeah, that was creepy as hell.
We couldn't see, and then
Yeah.
we're asking him to do that for us
Oh.
because there's rise in port.
Well, I guess if we're the ones being creepy, that's better. It's better to be the creep. Trina does not really understand like how that sounds. I think she's as good with people as you are, just in a different way.
Oh, good. Okay, excellent.
Not a people person.
There is one thing that he needs, though. Your
Okay.
silver knife.
Oh, what?
He needs it as a carving tool.
No, that'll ruin it.
Well, I wouldn't take it without talking to you first. Can we get another one?
They're pretty expensive. I guess we could get a smithy to bang it back into shape.
Well,
Ugh.
that, or we can use ship's funds.
But we're gonna get that kick-ass enchantment,
Yes.
and we'll find some way to get a new one.
We'll find some way to get a new one. You have my word.
I mean, it's not like we have moon urchin every day. Let me get it.
As you wish.
We're definitely not killing him.
No, he shares an interest in making Gallant's life miserable.
Oh. Well, I'm on board with that. Okay. She gets up and I think she's a little less self-conscious around Sal and was like borderline shirtless in her hammock and grabs what kind of looks like a corset off the wall. It's not literally a corset, but to Sal, I mean, it's like, what's the difference? Except for the 6 stilettos that are in the back of it.
Okay.
And
And to be to make a point here. Sal does like clothing, and
Yes.
Sal has lots of clothing. It's just sort of
It's
eclectic.
a hobby interest.
Right.
Yeah.
And Sal does wear clothes, just not all the time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And Tarina isn't like shy or exhibitionist. It's just like she was in her hammock, so
Right.
whatever. And was the equivalent of fantasy sports bra, you know, like whatever. People should have comfortable clothes, damn it. So yeah, she adds on this like arrangement that puts a bunch of knives, and then the what's that chef's coat called? It has a specific name. All I can think of is the word toque, which is
the hat.
yeah, her chef's coat, which she just leaves open. You're like, oh yeah, she could like get to a knife pretty easily with that. Like, wow, she's got a lot of knives. But those are throwing knives that she has in there. You can tell just from the way they're shaped. You can tell from the way she walks. She'll knife you in your sleep. What? Who said that? Weird. But she goes to the galley.
It's fine if our ships are the creep.
Yeah.
And then I'll knife you in your sleep.
Yes, exactly. I'm the creep. So she goes to the galley, unrolls the unnecessary number of knives, and pulls out the moon urchin knife and gazes at it lovingly for a moment, and then flips it around in her hand and offers the handle to you.
Thank you. And I'll take the knife.
I can't watch. I'll be in my bunk. And she just like rolls up her knives and goes back to her bunk. So
And probably takes the knife roll with her.
yeah, she
now.
does. She's like
Yeah.
holds it to her chest, like oh, the pain. Yeah, the Corin, right, was the mage.
Mhm.
Kotil was the
Yeah.
sailor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why could I not have more diversity in letters? That's whatever. By the time you find him, Corin is much more himself. He's had a beer. Mead was what he asked for,
Right.
and that somebody found some, and he accepts the knife and looks at it. This is gonna I'm gonna wreck this.
It's been discussed.
Okay. And he says, all right, which plank can I use?
I'm going to lead him down to the hold because I think there's probably a nice big plank in there that'll work and say, will this meet your needs?
Oh yeah, that's yep, more than enough. There any other charms? I mean, I know a few. It's not really my specialty, but actually, and he kind of looks you up and down. He's like, if you wanted, I could probably. Never mind. Sorry.
What were you going to say?
Well, I mean, if you wanted a charm on your person, he just gestures at your body.
Right. The charm?
Yeah.
Sorry, Nick is going, that would be really weird to be like walking around, but I suppose it's triggerable, right?
Yeah. He has to power it, right? So he's going to like carve this and then charge it up is the process. I mean, it might not work as I can't draw in full scale, but I don't know. I've never tried it, but I bet it'd be cool. When he sees that he hasn't offended you right off the bat, he's like gone back into like nerd mode of like,
I'm trying to think what Sal would think. I think it's cool as hell.
did we
but
discuss what Corin looked like?
Not too much. I don't remember.
Not really.
Robes.
Robes.
Yeah, robes. There was a lot of robes, and then finally the robes have come back, and we can reveal.
Although I do think it's interesting that Corin, who has apparently been a shipboard mage, can't swim.
Well, he was
He was like,
basically
was
unconscious.
Oh,
when
was he?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
he like
I didn't get
I
that.
think hitting the water from all that way up was my headcanon of it.
Oh,
was
gotcha.
that
Okay,
he had been
that-
like
that
the
makes
wind knocked
sense.
out of him, and
I thought it was more just like, oh, this is his
I mean that might be true. I'm
yes.
not opposed to having that be part of it.
Right.
And like between the robes and his like poor swimming skills, he's like,
Right.
oh, I'm going under.
it's his 10-point disadvantage is
Yeah.
can't swim but
He's
lives
got
in this.
all
Yeah.
these things in his pockets. Who knows?
He normally just like puts down puffs of air and pogos.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking of what's his name? The guy who just he's like kind of nerdy and got super hot for the Eternals movie.
Camille Nanjiani?
Yes, Nanjiani. Can that be our Corin?
Yeah.
That guy, he's super hot. Sorry, that's just me. Yeah, that's what I'm casting.
If we can do that after we've protected the ship, I would be interested in discussing it further with you.
Yeah, okay. I'll draw it up. I've got ideas. Okay, and he just flips the knife around into sort of like knife fighter.
The ice pick
Underhand?
mode?
Ice pick, yeah.
Mhm.
And just hunkers down and starts carving into the wood. Weirdly enough, it is like it is creating grooves in the wood, but it's like as he's channeling this skill that he has, the wood is sort of like falling away under it, and it's actually not painful to you.
Okay, I
it
was
is-
going to ask how
It's
it felt.
weird. Nick, I forget if you have tattoos in real life.
I don't.
Okay.
Not yet, anyway. I've been thinking about it.
It feels like if somebody just dragged a fingernail along your skin, like a scratch, but not even like an injury scratch, right? It's just like somebody's dragging a fingernail. That's what it feels like.
Or like if you have one of those wheels,
Yeah,
like the spiky wheel thing.
yeah, kind of like that, where it's not painful.
Tracing
But-
wheel.
Yes.
Tracing
Thank
wheel,
you. I couldn't
yes.
think of what it was called.
Ding, ding, ding.
Pizza cutter.
Pizza cutter. No,
That seems more painful.
that's not it.
Pizza. Yeah, the Mad Max pizza cutter.
Yeah, that's what it is. So just so you know, it's
Okay.
like you can. It is a distinct sensation, and it's a little weird and tingly. But other than that, it's not particularly disturbing. It takes him an hour or so, and when he finishes, he says, "Okay, well, I can charge this up whenever you want. It'll last till sunup or sundown, whichever comes next. It breaks the charm." So
What time are we at?
I think it's probably just after sundown now,
Okay.
right? It's we said it was late winter, almost spring, I think. I forget what seasons we were playing around with because it was a little chilly in Creektown at
Right.
night.
Yeah.
So
I think it was spring.
yeah, like February, March, like we're getting to spring. It was still chilly at night and that type of thing. Yeah. So, relatively early sundown, 7-ish, and yeah, it's dark.
Okay. If you would charge it now, I think that if we have an emergency, it would be better to have it ready than.
Well,
Ready
if
now.
I charge it, it's gonna activate.
Oh, activate. I see.
And it might look a little bit weird if we're in port, because
Agreed.
out of the corner of someone's eye, it's just. I mean, I'll charge it up if you want. I'm on the team, but
No,
Uh,
let's.
still like
Mm.
rough voice and
Right. Then let's hold off for now, and we'll see if it's needed.
All right.
But if you have some ideas, I'd love to see your thoughts.
Oh, like for you. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I'm a little curious to see what happens when we charge this up because I can see that you're linked to this ship.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. How did that happen? What he's dancing around the like, what are you?
Mhm. Yeah.
There were several factors,
Um,
and I'm not.
and I'm gonna say Doc is in like standing in the doorway when you start to answer,
Mhm.
and she says, "Sal, you may not want to explain everything just yet."
I understand. I was, in fact, going to beg off.
Sorry to interrupt.
Appreciate your
She just
concern.
takes her bottle of rum back out.
There were several factors, and perhaps we can discuss them at another time.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Find the murder. Where is there a place for me to bunk?
We'll find you a place. Yes. Do we have extra? So here's the thing. Sal doesn't really have a room because Sal bunks
Okay.
on the front of the ship.
Who's in the captain's quarters?
That's what I was about to ask and talk about.
Because I think his party thing is like, by the way, I'm accustomed to a stateroom. I mean, obviously I can rough it, but just so it's been said, that's kind of
I
What-
want to say we turned the captain's quarters into kind of our meeting
Yeah.
office where we do the dart game,
Right.
like the dart thing and all
yeah.
of that,
It's a community center.
basically.
It's where the hot tub is, and
Right.
Got a mini bar in there.
or a maxi bar.
So and then the two of you, I think, have nice rooms.
Yeah,
And-
probably like first mate and bosun kind of cabins.
Right. As nice as it gets on board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cramped ship.
And then most other people are probably 2 to a spot, but there were enough where like Danny and Tarina and Doc all had their own, but they're all in a twofer,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
And then Cotil probably sleeps under Danny's bunk. So that leaves spot with Tarina or Doc if he's gonna bunk in with someone.
How many people would normally need to operate?
Well, the modifications to the ship are specifically so that 5 or 6 people can run the ship, whereas normally a ship this size would need 12 people.
Yeah.
No, but that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they ripped out a lot of that stuff so it could carry more cargo and ammo and all that, because this is part delivery, but also more combat oriented than that galleon is, for instance.
It's an armored delivery vehicle.
Yes.
Yeah, we're like a privateer capable.
Yes. Privateer, armored car, a vibe
Mm.
where they stripped out a lot of that stuff so that they took advantage of the minimal complement required.
Mm.
So
So we get spinning rims.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
They wanted to make sure the ship isn't. Never mind, it didn't work. I was halfway there.
Okay.
I almost had it.
All right.
I respect
the
the
Take
abort.
another
yeah.
run at it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if I might run up it.
Okay.
Again.
So yeah, he'll either have to share with Tarina or Doc, or just get a hammock in the hold, which has almost unlimited space. I mean, compared to how big you all are and how little cargo you have, just basically none, as far as I understand.
At the moment.
But there's a lot of cargo in that galleon.
Wall will volunteer his room.
For Corin?
Yeah.
To share?
No.
Oh,
Wall, are you sure?
I think a smaller space would fit me better.
I mean, that does look about the size I'm used to. I mean, it's a little smaller, but I would graciously accept if this was
If you hadn't already let that ship sail.
what
The gracious ship.
well, I mean, I am grateful.
Great. So you're staying in the G family.
Yes. he doesn't totally understand. I get what you're getting at, but he is not aware of how rude he's being.
Mm.
He was made accustomed to a certain lifestyle. And
The manner in
The
which you're
lifestyle.
acquainted.
yes.
The manner in which you acquainted, which also included getting thrown off the sides of ships.
Yeah, well, I mean, before that, he was in the captain's quarters, so,
Yeah, it was great up till that point.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
was
sure it was.
Great until his lover threw him off the ship, literally. Bad boyfriends. If anyone tries to throw you off their ship, you break up with them. They're not worth your time.
Red flag.
Yep,
Should have been flying a red flag.
yep.
That'll be the next color of the rides.
Yeah.
Rides flags.
Well, next time we do our department head check-in, we'll.
Yeah.
Someone tries to throw you off a ship, you throw them off the ship
Yeah.
first.
Exactly.
If you love them, throw them off the ship. And if they come back,
If they swim back up,
Do it
to you.
again.
you still don't deserve them.
Okay. I'm gonna introduce a little. I know we're almost at time. Everybody roll a die for me, please. This is kind of a whoever rolls highest.
12.
13.
18.
Oh, okay. That's actually good.
Lucky,
This
lucky,
die can
lucky.
stay.
Lucky
You're lucky,
Joshi,
lucky, you're so lucky.
what were you doing during all this time?
Well, once we got the mage settled,
Mm-hmm.
still giving you, like, epic side eye for giving up your quarters for this rando dude.
My quarters are close to the top deck. In case he needs to be reminded of the doom he was pulled from.
Yeah, I'm picturing there's that like fancy captain's quarters and then like first mate and bosun probably on either side of it. So, you can pick.
But I was gonna also check in with Fortina, and then,
Mhm.
Actually, I
Do you
really...
have chicken and or fish?
I actually picked up a thing of, like, dried, giblets.
Oh, delicious. And
because
stinky.
well, yes, and they also travel well.
Yeah, yep.
And, like, it may be an acquired taste, but, like, they're tasty.
Is it something you also like personally? Yeah, I love it. I love it. Cat person to
It
cat.
reminds me of
Yeah.
It reminds me of my childhood.
Yeah, it was like a little treat that you got when you did your chores. And yeah. Okay.
Because you bribe children, that's what you do.
Yes. That's fine. So yes, you have attracted Portina's attention. You just like leave your cabin door open, or are you out
yeah.
on deck, or
I think I'm gonna, spend some time with her in my
Okay.
quarters.
So I think also as it's gotten dark, you realize that your perception has started to change, right? Like between getting completely blown out from the flashbang and then the migraines and all of this, it seems to partly have been because like the physicality of your eyes changed today, right? And as it's gotten darker, you're realizing like, oh, I didn't light any of my candles and I'm fine, right? You were like kind of looking at some papers and waiting for the cat to come in. Like I'm ignoring the cat, so she'll sit on my papers. Do I have that right?
These very important papers.
Yes, I hope nobody blocks me from being able to read this important business I'm doing. Plop. But yeah, you realize, when Portina comes over and you're giving her some snacks, you kind of look around and realize it's almost pitch black in your room because it's storm dark outside, and there are a couple of deck lamps that have been lit.
That's, yeah.
Yep.
That's how it said.
That's how it works.
Letting right up. Tell you what. Yeah. So you're sitting in the dark and it didn't even occur to you. But by the same token, you're feeding the cat and I'm glancing around, looking outside, and you see just this silent form, which you recognize the silhouette of the fins of Danny. Not Danny. Danny. Yes. Okay. Too many NPCs. I did this to myself. Danny, just silent shadow slips over the side of the ship, like dives up. He didn't fall off. He just dives into the water. You don't even hear the splash.
Like a 16-year-old who knows they're going to be able to sneak out of the house and go do whatever they want and come back before there's anyone notices.
And that's where we'll roll credits for tonight. So, make a note. I want to pick up right on that next time, Pooja. So, remind me. But that's been it for us. This is episode 5 of the Castoffs. You can follow us on Happy Jacks RPG is Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all that stuff. You can check out everything we've done at happyjacks.org/shows or /castoffs for our specific episodes. There's a podcast feed, there's a YouTube, there's a Twitch VOD, there's anything and everything. If you go back in time and get a radio signal to go forward in time, you can catch up to it and listen that way.
I'll do it that way.
Yeah, it's just easier.
Save so much hassle.
For me, myself, and I, you can follow Twitch and Twitter at It's Probably Okay. I stream on my channel Wednesdays and Fridays. I do some video games and whatnot, if you will. And that's pretty much all you need to know about me. So, Joe.
Hi, everybody. I'm Joe, and you can follow me. There's something below my name. I don't know. I don't maintain that account. I might start checking it. I don't know. But if you want to tweet somebody that isn't gonna read what you said, maybe gets back to you after a month, maybe ignores a lot of what you say or takes things you say out of context, you might have an attachment issue. And I would recommend therapy and talking to somebody about it and finding resources. These are things that haunt a lot of people, and it's very treatable when we have the courage to ask for help and find the right community.
Not a joke.
A little bit of a joke.
Well, but also...
But also
not a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. At this time, I think we all need some therapy.
Therapy
that is not a joke.
Is good for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Hi, I'm Pooja, and you can find me on Twitter at LADesigirl. That's LADESI girl, posting mostly pictures of my cats.
I successfully did not spell it along with you. I almost did.
Just all together now.
I almost did it.
On pretty much all the other socials on Forgotten Saves, and if you want to hear me play more TTRPGs, you can check me out on the 12-Sided Stories podcast.
Hey everyone, I'm Nick. You can follow me, but not down a dark alley because I can't be assured of anyone's safety in such a situation. Being a creep and following people in a dark alley is never recommended for anyone.
Don't do that.
Don't be a creep.
Yeah.
Don't be a creep. If you learn nothing else,
Don't be a
be a creep.
Yeah.
However, you can go ahead and find me online on that site with the bird, the one that I am at Sungrowler on there.
Birds.com.
Yeah. Parrot Talk. Yes, that's the one.
That's the one.
At Sungrowler, as you can see down below. You can also find me there on Instagram. However, I don't post anything there except when Facebook does, so don't follow me there.
I'm now imagining a parody movie called Parrot Trap. I think there's something there. Worth repeating.
Yeah. These two parrots who were separated at birth.
Yeah.
I made up just the concept of the parrot trap, where like, an asshole is like one set of assholes is like, okay, you take one kid and I'll take the other kid and we'll move to the opposite
And
coast.
never
and
speak
literally,
again.
They will never know of each other's existence.
Yeah.
For 10 plus years of their lives.
It is a wild premise.
I mean, I love Haley Mills more than the next person, I'm 100% sure. But also...
Well, I mean, she didn't write the movie.
No.
It's not,
I just
not
watched
their
it
fault.
so much.
Yeah.
I feel like we've moved away from that time, and I'm gonna say like the '80s, where you could just make a movie about a man who becomes a professional toy for a rich kid, or someone who just things could randomly happen. You just go to the movies and be like, okay, I guess that's what I'm watching for next hour and a half.
I mean, the 60s and the 70s were a wild time because,
Yes.
like, the entire Haley Mills era, and then you had the computer wore tennis shoes with Kurt Russell.
That's one of my favorite things to bring out for Kurt Russell.
In the 80s, you had the movie that was, like, about the android boy who went to high school.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know that one.
It was a whole thing.
I'll have to
And
look
then
for
there was,
that.
like, a romance plot in it that was a little uncomfortable.
I mean, Little Wonder was Little Wonder? Is that
Small Wonder.
Small Wonder. That was great. I liked that.
That Darn Cat, where a woman put her stretchy watch that she had kind of almost scratched Help Me on the back of and attached it around the cat's neck, kind of like a collar, and didn't get her eye scratched out, which really strange credulity right there. But then with the FBI agent who comes and just sets up by himself in this girl's house where she lives alone with her older sister.
Nice.
My Uncle the Martian.
Oh,
All right. Well,
Sorry.
that's been movie
Think of a lot of
movie
space.
reviews with the cast of Castoffs.
movie reviews from the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
And
We're just like a classic rock station.
yeah. Tune in next time for our reviews of 1950s Broadway musicals.
That's actually the decline of the musical era.
Sure.
40s were the height of
Okay.
the musical.
You got me.
Sorry, I did go to film school.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
I guess I gotta hit this
In
button.
2
Yeah.
weeks.